He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly sunny sky. A high will be right around the upper 60s. We will see a chance of an isolated shower or two tonight. An overnight low upper 40s north, mid 50s south. And then a chance of a few showers to storms on Saturday. Highs in the mid 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
I'm hairy everywhere else except my face.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, Jones, man, take it to the house. That done.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
That's even one Razorback. Is vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Turn it.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
We got all kinds of reasons to be fired up today. Good morning. That's one thing. Get to do a sports radio show here live on the airwaves. That's a reason to be excited. November, welcome into November. We don't have to worry about the Halloween stuff anymore. That's another reason to be excited. Friday's always a reason to get fired up. Football tomorrow at Razorback Stadium, absolutely. And that's, I guess, where we'll start today, just with the excitement of here on a Friday, November the 1st. Halftime on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line app. Phil Elson, my partner Matt Jones, Christian Johnston is in the studios, Colton Little along later on. And happy November to you, Matt. And also a happy anniversary. I don't know if your body feels what it felt like 21 years ago when you played in the longest game in the history of Arkansas football against Kentucky. All 7 overtimes and just about 5 hours worth.
That was a W is what that was. Happy Friday. I hope everybody had a safe and happy Halloween. I was in bed by 9:20 yesterday, so it was a beautiful Halloween.
I am a little bit envious of you for your bedtime yesterday. I was still out walking the streets with my son as our ugly election costume walking around. It didn't have as many people around in the neighborhood as I expected, and so I actually had some leftover candy, which I don't feel good about because who eats the leftover candy?
Pops.
Me. I do not need that. I do not need any of it. So, but it's what I was doing yesterday. I didn't get to watch any of the Prime Video NFL game, and I did watch the highlight. I guess there's 2 highlights to think of when you're looking at this game from last night. Did you see the catch of the year, Matt, by Garrett Wilson, which kind of reminded me a little bit of the George Pickens the same foot touching twice in the end zone this past Sunday. Wilson makes this amazing catch. Looked exactly like Michael Jordan's jump man. I think it was his right foot hit, And then I couldn't quite tell if it was just short of his knee or like the shin or maybe the ankle. But if it would have been the foot twice, he wouldn't have gotten credit for what looked like the catch of the year.
Looked like Tobey Maguire. He might get an audition to the Marvel comic book thing. I mean, that could be Spidey Man right there.
That was just crazy. For one thing, it's a one-handed catch, and then still have the wherewithal to at least think. It's got to be instinctual if you practice this sort of thing. Just get the foot down and then figure out to get something else down, and that's what it looked like he was doing. Just in a split second, realizes my foot's down. I can't get the other foot down, so I'm going to try to get my shin down before I go out of bounds. Yeah, he did look like Spider-Man. You're exactly right. And then there was the play. What was the name of the wide receiver that took the ball? He dropped the ball going into the end zone. No kidding, Christian.
They did that again last night.
There's the hype man behind us here, Christian. Yeah,
would have been his first career touchdown.
Christian Ed McMahon Johnston. He might have a new nickname going on now.
I like that one. I really like that one too. Yeah, I've never understood that. I have never understood the idea of celebrating a touchdown by dropping the ball as you cross the goal line. Have we not learned by now? Because it's been like that. We've seen these things happen over the last 20, 25 years. Take the ball into the end zone with you. Yeah, Matt, he dropped the ball. I don't know. I mean, it was inside the 1 yard line, but come on, can't you just take the ball in and then spike it? What happened to the old-fashioned spike?
I mean, take the ball, give the ball to your grandmother, give the ball to your sister. There's probably somebody out there that wants that touchdown ball. Keep that ball, man. Put that forearm, rib cage, eagle claw, man. Keep it high and tight, man. Don't drop that ball.
I mean, I grew up in an era where they didn't allow you to celebrate. You could spike the ball and that was it. I mean, you weren't allowed to do any dance. There wasn't a camera in the end zone where everybody would gather to celebrate a takeaway. There were no touchdown props on the sideline or anything. And it's like, take advantage of this era now. It isn't the no fun league anymore. And how much fun is it to just drop a thing when you're going into the end zone there? Also, one thing to think about with that game last night with Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson, Rodgers threw for 211 yards. 20 yards went to the other receivers. Only 181 yards to Wilson and Davante Adams. So I was starting to figure out, I mean, you're at the halfway point. You either turn a season around if you're having a kind of year like the Jets are, or you don't turn it around. It starts this weekend for some of those teams, right?
Well, 100% at the halfway point. So the Jets now are 3-6, I believe. Or is that?
That's right.
Yeah. So they have to string some together. I think the Texans are in trouble. They lost their two best receivers, and to your point, Phil, the Jets have two of them. And that's where you're going with the rock. You can't double both of them. Then we go to a run play. Then you throw it somebody. So when the Texans with a young quarterback with Stroud losing both those receivers, I think they might continue to struggle. I'm still not buying into the Jets. A short week. They won. I get it. They made their, the offenses should start coming together. If they win 3 in a row, they're not going to just be able to be 500 the rest of the year and make the playoffs. They're going to have to win 3, 4, 5 in a row to make the playoffs, and maybe I'll buy in, but I'm not buying in right now with one win on a Thursday night over the Texans.
Absolutely. You think of a couple of teams in like the AFC North that had some hopes to win that division. It's you either start it now or you forget about it. Thinking about Cincinnati, Cleveland, the Dolphins and the Bills being a pretty big game this weekend. They get Tua back too, so Miami either turns it around now or it's just not going to happen. You start thinking about ruining another team's season and maybe starting to plan ahead for whomever it is you're drafting, although they're probably doing that as well right now too. And, of course, by this time tomorrow, right about this time tomorrow, somebody will have a football at Razorback Stadium. They'll be trying to march down the field. You're Arkansas tomorrow, Matt. You take the ball first. You want to try to establish that run game as early as you possibly can because that's how it's going to happen.
Mississippi State, yeah, I thought we should have we didn't take the ball first to put our defense out there. I don't know. I think I might rather put our defense out there. I'd rather defer, get the ball to start the second half if you can. Let's put that defense out there. But yeah, you're nervous about, you don't want to fall behind early because We haven't been behind a lot at Arkansas as far as in the first half, first three quarters. So your whole playbook's open. But I would defer and put my defense out there and see, because I really think Jackson Dart's going to have 3 turnovers. I think that's the way we win this game. If Jackson Dart has a clean game and doesn't turn the ball over, Ole Miss will probably win by 17-24. If we can put our defense out there and we can make something happen, have Jackson Dart turn the ball over a couple times, we could have a chance to win. But if they play a clean game and don't turn the ball over, they'll win by 3 touchdowns.
You think you want to try to force him into some quick
Absolutely. Let's get him out there and hit him.
I would assume that means you're looking at a defensive game plan that's much different from the last home game against LSU, where you gave those receivers such a cushion, and that's going to be an aspect of certainly something to pay attention to on Saturday with that last availability report. And I'll get into to some of this later on after we speak with Aaron Torres. They don't have Trey Harris available, and Harris is still listed questionable with a lower body injury. That's going to limit them. I think that will limit Ole Miss quite a bit. He's been the most dangerous receiver by far for that team. They'll need somebody else to step up. So I think it could be a little bit different than that LSU game, Matt, because Kyron Lacey wasn't just healthy. He was near the top of his game the week before. This is a little bit different with an Ole Miss team that I think is quite a bit more banged up than LSU was.
Georgia's the best team I've seen in the SEC making halftime adjustments, and Ole Miss is right up there. Ole Miss second, third best team. So I want our Ole Miss not to have the ball to start the second half. That I want us to get the ball to start the second half. That's kind of going into my thought process, and that what they do, they completely shut out Oklahoma in the second half. So that's let's try to make some. Lane Kiffin will make some adjustments at halftime.
It's going to be a great Friday here on Halftime. Our guests include Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen at about 1:15. We haven't had Nate Olson on for a few weeks. He's writing right now for Best of Arkansas Sports, and he wrote on the tragedy in Greenwood that occurred just a few days ago, spoke with the Archer family, and we'll be discussing the tragedy in Greenwood and how they're trying to rebound and respond from it, and just trying to take care of everybody that's in the Greenwood community with just an awful tragedy involving 3 deaths, 2 students. There was a couple of days ago. So we'll talk with Nate about that in about an hour. And after the break, we talk with Aaron Torres from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast and Aaron Torres Media. So it's a beautiful Friday. It's halftime, and we will be right back.
This is Halftime. Don't miss Arkansas game day before every Razorback football game this season, brought to you by the Stadium Shop on Razorback and Sawyer Sunrooms.
I love seeing that. I know that sometimes as a coach, they get so afraid to let their emotions get too high and sometimes too low, but I really think the players identify with what Travis Williams and the attitude that he brings to work every day, and that inspires me. I mean, every time I hear Travis Williams talk to his guys, I want to strap my helmet up and run through a wall.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. You can visit us online too at rivervalleysmiles.com. We'll be hosting a 3rd annual Operation Stand Down on Friday, November 1st. This event offers free extractions and cleanings for any veterans. To schedule an appointment, contact Gina Chandler at gina.chandler@arkansas.gov or your County Veteran Services Office. River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a 4th-generation family-owned business, taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Is someone special to you missing out on life because of foot pain? Let's face it, if your feet hurt, you don't want to go anywhere. Give the gift of freedom. Check out our store for all kinds of options to benefit your special someone. We have perfect gifts for those suffering from a variety of foot issues, such as plantar fasciitis, bunions, tendonitis, diabetes care, neuropathy, or just tired and achy feet. Visit us today at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Have you been searching for a luxury dealership experience unlike any other? Come to Land Rover Little Rock in Little Rock, Arkansas, and discover why we're known as classy, top-tier, easy, and honest. Whether you want to upgrade your ride to a new Range Rover Velar or you're in the market for a used vehicle of another make, you won't regret visiting our Little Rock, Arkansas Land Rover dealership for all your automotive needs. Can't make it in? Check us out online at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
They gotta say if you're not drinking, you, got the risk in you, don't you? I get this feeling like it all could happen. That's why I'm leaving you for the moment, you for the moment, boy blue, yeah you.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
To our hotline here on the 1st of November. That means the first guest of our month of November here on Halftime is Aaron Torres. Joins us from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast and Aaron Torres Media and the home of the World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers as well. Hey, Aaron, how you doing, man?
Yo.
AT.
Can you hear me?
You got us? Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Hello.
Hello, Aaron. Wow, that's kind of interesting going on.
Heard no background noise. That might have been the subliminal. That might have been he's in trouble. We might have to put something out for him. That's
the problem.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's like scream if you need some help, but I couldn't hear the scream. But usually if there's not some sort of commotion going on in the background with him, it makes me a little bit nervous there. Last week it sounded like he was, what was he at
in a wind turbine?
Like pit row at a NASCAR race or something. I think it was one of those two.
I always think he's working out. I feel like it's 3 hours above over there. So what do most people do when they get up in the morning? You kind of get it ready and then you do your workout. And so it always kind of seems like maybe, but I don't know if he's a workout dude or not.
I guarantee you he is. All right. Well, it looks like he's called back, so we'll try him again here in a moment. I know we've got a caller on hold, and we'll get to that after we speak with AT. So, Christian, you tell me when we've got him, okay? All right, we got him. Let's try Aaron Torres one more time. Aaron Torres from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast and Aaron Torres Media. AT, how you doing?
Hello.
You guys hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, my God.
Can you hear me?
Are we going to do the voice? So we're keeping the voice. Hello.
Kind of crazy. I don't know. We hear him talking there, but he can't hear us.
Can you hear me?
First time something like that's happened before. Yeah.
We got Ty. We got Ty in the studio now. He'll Ty. I don't know.
It's a
Ty
very
figured it out.
very interesting little experience that you got going on here. So we'll. So I was going to go to the phone call. I was going to go to Cecil instead, but I don't know if he'll be able to hear us. That's the issue I'd have at the moment. You want to try Cecil and see if it works?
Let's try Cecil.
This is the magic of live radio. I love this. All right, let's try Cecil. Can you hear us? Hi, Cecil.
What's up, fellas?
1 2 1.
Yeah, I hear you. See, you hear us.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Tomorrow's game. We really. I really want to win. But hey, man, and on top of that, man, I hope I don't get into it with nobody because I'm sitting in 121 on the third row. But you know how I go though, because Tennessee was it Tennessee? No, that was LSU talking trash. Tennessee was good fans. They were great fans. I wished them a safe way home and everything. But LSU was talking trash, man, and I didn't say a word, and that ain't me. So hopefully tomorrow, because we really need this win, so we can go in when we play Texas, we'll be sitting pretty good. And then we beat Texas. Okay, Phil, Matt, if we beat Ole Miss in Texas and LSU, where will we be actually sitting at a bowl? That's what I want to know. And I'm still pissed off, excuse my French, about Texas A&M not getting enough respect. I don't get that because that makes our conference weak when somebody's already undefeated in the conference and Texas is ranked over them. I don't understand that. I just don't. But I'll hang up and listen to y'all, man.
Okay.
Y'all have a blessed day.
Yeah, you got it, Cecil.
Hopefully I'll run into y'all tomorrow. I know y'all be up there.
I'll be there. I'll definitely be there. We'll be there too, and maybe we can run into each other. I'll say this about that. I don't worry about the rankings, with the AP rankings when it comes to it. I think some of this also has to do with quality of loss. I think A&M probably is better than what their ranking is, but a loss to Notre Dame and a loss to Georgia, and I think that's why you'd see Texas would be ranked ahead of them. Let's try AT one more time. Aaron, you got us loud and clear?
AT.
Hello?
Nope. I think
Can you
we
hear
got a
me?
problem.
Yo,
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear. You got us?
I don't know why you guys are breaking up.
No kidding. Well, all right. I guess there's something wrong with the cell phone reception going out there. So we'll. I don't know what's going on. We always hear him and everything else going on behind him. So let's try Brian in Ozark next up here. We got some callers to fill the gap. Brian, how are you? We hear you. You hear us.
Hello.
I guess he doesn't hear us.
He's
Can you hear me now?
He's being funny.
I don't know what to
I
do
got a
about
question
this.
for you.
Shoot.
So, when's the last time? I know that Arkansas is projected to have one of the best backcourts in basketball this year. But my question would be, how do you think Tremont Marks is going to be received? And you know what? When they do come to Fayetteville, Texas has a pretty good backcourt itself, and Jordan Pope, Tremont Marks, and Trey Johnson. Just kind of curious what you think on that. I'll hang up and listen.
I think Tremont Mark was good here last year. He's going to be just fine.
I'd give him a hug. That's a different. That was a Coach Must thing. He's gone. Tremont Mark was our best player on the team for a year. I'd show 30 seconds of clips of him on the video board and say, "Man, thank you for your time. Welcome to this ass whooping." That's what I'd say because they're not coming into Arkansas and beating that team. So yeah, Calipari's going to win 90% of his home games. I don't know where they're playing, but if you're talking about coming to Bud Walton, you can come up here and take that L.
You want to sneak into the locker room before the game? You want to put a sign on his locker for him right there? You could basically just put it there. You don't even put it on the video board. Have him see it when he walks in the building.
Give him a hug, give him a kiss, whatever you want to do. Thank him for his service because he was our best player on the team, and he did it the Razorback. He did everything the right way. I have nothing but love for Tremont Mark.
Yeah, he was fun to watch.
Now come take this L.
Well, it's the same way that you got to feel about Pooh Paul coming in this weekend.
Well,
right?
no, I don't, because we're not a better team. It's not it's a totally different. Ole Miss is better than us at just about every position. Like we can compete a little bit, but we're Arkansas basketball. We're better than everybody in basketball. So you got to kind of have a humble respect for everybody.
Well, but independent of the program that each of these players went to, it's not like I never felt like Tremont Mark, like his effort was a problem, or that he quit on the team, or that if there was an issue in the locker room last year, that it had much or anything to do with him. I felt the same way about Pooh Paul. Like, his effort was always 100%. I don't think you could say that about everybody on the defensive side in November last year. And I mean, you remember all these wild rumors about what was going on in the locker room for basketball, and what that played itself onto the court too. I don't think Mark was part of any of that. He just was a put your head down and play hard kind of a guy. So yeah, that's why I was like, I've been rooting for Pooh Paul all year, and I expect that he's going to play really well against Arkansas just because he's played well all year long. But you're right. I mean, Mark's coming in here and you're expecting, all right, you're walking into the Lions' den. It's a little different with football. Although I will say, it's like when you see one of your own players that you I mean, Pooh was he was on the short list of favorite players on the team last year and the year before. You get to watch him grow up from freshman to sophomore. Mark was a little bit different because he had come in from another program. You only had him 1 year. But those aren't the kind of players that they leave, and yes, you're disappointed about it, you're upset about it, but I think you can understand it, and you don't root against guys like that.
Not at all. He was a quiet leader, very savvy. I liked his game. I liked the way he carried himself. He's going to be trouble. Like if the thing when you have the most athletic team, which we're going to have most of the times, is do you make your teammate better? Do you know how to play defense? There's other things that are going to, because one-on-one basketball with our athletes, we're going to be just as athletic as how much basketball IQ do we have? Do you know how to play help defense? There's so many other things that goes into it. That's going to tell if this team is going to be a Final Four team or not, because the talent's there. It's just, are you a student of the game? It's going to be all those little things, attention to detail about how far this team goes.
Of course, remember, there is a basketball exhibition tonight that you can hear on these very airwaves with Chuck and Zim on the call at Dickies Arena, and this is the only way to even be able to listen. There's no way to view it unless you're inside. 6:30 airtime, 7 o'clock tip-off, last charity exhibition of the year. And let's talk with Eduardo the Sherpa, who will take us up into the break. Good morning, Eddie. How are you? All right, please tell me that these things are working again, to something like a phone that is working today. And I hear Eddie in the background, just like
we got a disconnect somewhere.
Yeah, we got a little issue. We got gremlins in the wires today on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I did not see any gremlins dressed up yesterday and on Halloween, but I guess they're all inside they're all inside the phone system. Some of the callers hear us. Some of the callers do not hear us. But then again, sometimes I don't know, Matt, if Brian in Ozark ever truly hears what we're saying. As he'll come on with an agenda, and he might kind of chuckle, but just move past whatever it is that one of us has said. So I still don't know if our callers can actually hear us.
Well, we adjust and adapt, I guess.
Yes, that's exactly right. It's like a halftime adjustment, but it's a halftime adjustment about halfway through the first quarter of a football game. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. We'll come right back. We might have this stuff fixed up.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes. Their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
In the communities we serve, we know your energy is best spent on the things you enjoy. That's why we're helping you save your energy with natural gas. More efficient than other energy sources, save your energy for cheering on the Hogs. Be tailgate ready with your natural gas-powered outdoor grill. Enjoy fast, cozy comfort from your natural gas fireplace when ball games get chilly. At AOG, we know your Razorback pride runs deep. Ours does too. And so does our commitment to caring for the communities we serve with Always On Energy. Visit AOGC.com.
This is Ricky Young with Mr. Cabbage Head and the Screaming Radishes, vegetable-related rock for a healthier lifestyle. When we have any problem at all, we call 782-8940.
It's a great time to take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at AAABM.com or call us at 471-1771.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I was reminded every measure, riding the train when buried treasure. I've got on some modern living, but must I be such a citizen? And the world still so wild, called to me. I was lost, I've been cast on my knees.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
We're still having some issues with the phone line, but we can take your texts. We can definitely take a text and read it. And decide whether or not we want to actually, say it on the air. Christian, yes?
We got somebody calling in again right now. Maybe we'll go to him here in a second and see if
we do.
See if,
I'm all for live experimentation here on the air.
Let's go for it.
If we want to give it a shot. All right. I don't know who this is, but you go ahead and put the caller on. Tell me who it is.
Welcome to halftime. Who are we speaking
You're
with?
on here. Is it Eddie?
Matt, it's Ty. Y'all hear me okay?
Hey!
It's Ty Richardson. Wow. All right. Co-host of the Morning
All right.
Rush. What have you called in to talk about today, Ty?
Troubleshooting.
Yeah. I can hear Matt still talk.
I'll just laugh. How about that? That's what I feel like doing right
All right,
now.
I'll figure this out.
He can't hear Phil. That's what he couldn't hear you. Yeah. Okay.
Is that what it is? All right. All right. They can't hear me. You can hear me. Matt can hear me. Listeners can hear me. Otherwise, I would have had some text coming in like, what's going on here? We can't hear you.
Oh,
So
he
it's-
figured it out. I could see it in his eyes. It's over with now. Everybody's, do you say kosher? Is that something we say?
Coach, yeah, so all right, tell me the look you saw in his eyes then, Matt. Was it a look of,
He's
oh my
smiling.
gosh, I
This is
can't believe I did that?
Yeah, it's like, why didn't I think of this first? If it was a snake, it would have bit him. It was just right there.
If this was surgery, the patient would be dead right now. It's a good thing it's just live radio. 877-377-6963 if you'd like to be a human guinea pig and see if this thing works for us. Two of the most important Ole Miss players, Matt, are dealing with injuries. And I know by this time of the year, everybody's banged up, and it's not always the easiest thing. But I do wonder about Trey Harris's availability. He's the top receiver for Ole Miss. He was out against Oklahoma. Is it just a coincidence that without their top playmaking receiver, they are their fewest yards, second fewest yards of the season? I don't think it could be. He had an Achilles injury early in the season, and you know that those Achilles injuries sometimes can linger a little bit. I was reading in the Clarion Ledger, Sam Hutchins, who is covering Ole Miss football, it's a guess more than anything. I don't think he's got inside info about this. He didn't think that Harris was going to play. And without Harris, they are down one of their top running backs. The wide receiver core is good, but it hasn't necessarily they haven't gotten the kind of production I think that they were expecting from some of the transfers. So without Harris, I think this offense gets slowed down and maybe slowed down considerably. It's not that they won't be dangerous, but look, he averages 141 yards receiving per game. Second on the team is 61. That's an 80-yard differential. That's going to be a major thing if Harris can't play tomorrow.
You're talking about a first-round draft pick, Phil. I don't know how the receivers are going to go, but usually about 4 or 5 of them go every year in the first round. The dude can play. He's the truth. He can play on Sundays. That is advantage Arkansas if he's not playing. I didn't know that he might not be playing, but absolutely that kind of. You're taking away their big play threat. That allows us, I think, to be a little more aggressive, take some chances to get to Jackson Dart. Now, I'm not saying they don't have talent across the board because they do, but he's the cream of the crop. He is their best player. I would put him top 3, top 4 receivers in the SEC. He's that good. Yeah, and you know who they got next? Next week is Georgia. Mm-hmm. They might be thinking, you know what, we can get past the Hogs without him. Let's make sure he's ready for Georgia because that is really – they're in playoff mode now. Ole Miss loses again. They have 0% chance. If they win out, they have a little bit of a chance. So I would think that they probably save him for next week against Georgia.
Well, that last availability report comes out an hour before kickoff, so about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll get the final word on him. And sometimes that final word is game time decision, and then you just got to basically go by what you're seeing in warm-ups or if he's in the starting lineup at all. The other guy, and so, you think Harris is the best player on the Ole Miss offense, right? Who's the best player on their defense? You look at Pooh Paul, and because of his production as a linebacker, and statistically, I think you would go with that. But how important is a defensive tackle that takes up 2 or 3 blocks. How important to a defense is a player like that, like a Walter Nolan, Matt?
No, if that's Cortez Kennedy, if that's Haloti Ngata, if that's Aaron Darnold, if that's their 2-gap technique, that's the number one play. You got to have him. That's the anchor. That's the cornerstone. Absolutely, yeah. That's your front 4 right there. If all your studs, if somebody's hurt right there, that could be. So what are they saying? Is he got like a pec issue, or what is he not going to play?
No one's saying what it is. Now, who knows? Who knows what it would be? He did not play the second half against Oklahoma. Now, admittedly, maybe that's an offense that you don't need a potential first-round defensive tackle to beat, and they did shut him out in the second half without Nolan. I think the Arkansas offense is a different thing. He's listed as probable. Now, I'd expect that he plays. The question is, how many snaps can you get from him? How long can he last before whatever the issue is may take him out for the remainder of the game?
And I'm telling you,
how can you take advantage of those moments?
Well, and Phil, I know their back's against the wall for the playoff, but they want him healthy for Georgia next week, and I hope that's playing into their game plan. I hope when they're dialing everything up and scheming up and doing everything, I hope they keep those 2 guys off and say, you know what, we don't need them to beat Arkansas. We need them for Georgia, because that's how if they underestimate us or don't estimate us, Arkansas can win this game.
And I guess I also just expect that if Harris plays, that he's not at 100% and not even at 90%. I'm expecting if there's an Achilles, they're only saying lower body injury, but if he had an Achilles to start early in the season and couldn't play against Oklahoma, didn't even suit up, I would just assume that if he can't even just start to try to warm up, then if he does play, he's going to be a completely different player, won't be the same guy, and I think it can actually take Ole Miss from being a very explosive offense to something that is quite a bit different. Quite a bit different. You don't have your top playmaker. What would Arkansas be without Andrew Armstrong?
Man, I don't even want to think. Don't put that evil on us, Ricky Bobby. That's that's our guy. That's how we run our offense is through Andrew Armstrong. I mean, it's through Taylon Green, don't get me wrong, but it's, if you're taking away it's through Andrew Armstrong is how we run everything.
Now, they're still deep. I mean, they're incredibly deep at defensive tackle and at linebacker, but this is the guy that makes it go. Nolan, remember him from A&M and how difficult it could be to run against A&M? He's one of the major reasons why it was so difficult to run against them last year. And they get a big nose tackle, Pegues, who's just as good. They get defensive ends and Ivy and Perkins that get to the quarterback. But I think if you are removing the guy that's going to take up 2, maybe 3 blocks at times, that's going to take away some of the pass rush. It'll open up some other lanes. I think that could be maybe even more of a game-changing personnel move, Matt, than with Harris not playing.
Well, this is one of those weeks where you're glad Patrick Kudus is back, because he's our best interior lineman, so to speak, or I say most talented. He might not be the best right now because he hadn't been playing, but he has the talent. And so maybe he's able to go. Is our offensive line, is Kudus going to start again this week? Have we heard? I guess no news is good news. We haven't heard him. He's not on the injury report, is he?
No, he's not on the injury report. That back, I guess, is at the point where you don't have to worry about it any longer. I wonder if there will be any rotating at left guard with him and Blackstock. Sam Pittman did touch on Patrick Kudus and Keyshawn Blackstock earlier in the week.
Yeah, they both played well. Kudus played a few more snaps than Blackstock did. Both of them had great attitudes about their situation. As we're moving forward, we'll continue to evaluate that. But they both played well. Kudus played exceptional for his first game back. He played really well.
Yeah, if I'm going by, and I don't know the number of snaps, but I just know Patrick was out there for more series, more snaps than Blackstock. And it's not like Keyshawn did anything wrong against Mississippi State, but you can just hear in Pittman's voice there that Kudus is the guy at that position for right now. And I think this game is personal for Patrick. He's from Memphis, and he's been quoted on a podcast earlier this year. It was Natty State that did it. They had him on. Apparently, he was raised to hate Ole Miss. So I don't know too many other folks in the locker room that might actually say that. But you got somebody on the offensive line who literally despises the Ole Miss Rebels. And just think of all the people in the stands that feel the same way.
I think the Ole Miss is up there as far as you go. Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, Alabama, something like that as far as rivalries or disdain or not, not having like for it.
And it's also like you feel, or so like the hate against Texas is understandable for many reasons, but that's also a program that's just, it has been a blue blood up until the last 12, 13, 14 years, and they're finally back into the place where they feel they belong. Alabama is Alabama.
Well, and
sometimes hatred feels more like, envy, or that you continue to lose to that It's different with Ole Miss. Like, this is a program that Arkansas has been playing for over 100 years. A lot of neutral site games before they even became league partners. And then they played each other every year in the same division. And I feel like it's much different because these are programs that are around at about the same level up until these last 10 years. And in my mind, Arkansas should be in a better position than Ole Miss. Like, I laugh sometimes when I hear the idea of, and I don't think Kiffin's got one foot out the door, but Florida or Ole Miss, what's a better program, Florida or Ole Miss? Are you kidding me? Who in the world would actually believe that Mississippi is a better football program or a place that you can actually compete better than Florida? Do we not have the example of national championships at Florida in the last 35 years? It's not Ole Miss. It's not Ole Miss. They're not that program. I think that's part of it too.
Well, and not having divisions again, that might give them a little chance. But Arkansas, you want to say Alabama, but Alabama can't be a rivalry if you go 15 years in a row and don't beat them. So
right.
We're 8-8, I believe. I heard this stat. The last 16 games with Ole Miss were 8-8. That's about as good as it gets right there.
Well, also considering that the Hogs haven't had that kind of success against a lot of the other programs that they've played against. So that also goes along with it too. 877-377-6963 to get with us on a call or a text. And I am told that the phone lines are working once again, so maybe we might actually be able to give it a shot because we couldn't take any calls for a moment there because apparently nobody could hear me on the phone line. Casey in Ozark says, maybe Kiffin thinks it's that the girls are prettier in Oxford. Well, I don't know, Florida, Gainesville, Florida, it is the Sunshine State. I don't know if I'm comparing, those two schools in that category either. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I do not understand the idea of Ole Miss and respectful towards Ole Miss. But we're speaking of a small state with two universities in it, and now you're looking on the other side of things here. Florida State right now is a complete and utter mess. Miami doesn't know what league they're going to be playing in. And I guess we're looking at Florida as being a program that's not at the level of Ole Miss because they've got a dirty, rotten old stadium. Is that the reason why? They're going to be putting money into that stadium. Florida will be just fine at some point. They will be just fine. I don't think that Kiffin is looking at that as the job, though. I just don't think that that's his destination. But I'd rather be at Florida than Ole Miss any day of the week.
Tebow got his statue out in front of Gainesville yet? Speaking of statues.
I do think there's a Tebow statue.
Okay.
Might actually look like him too.
With that Florida State game where he looked like Braveheart down there.
That's right. Is there any other statues out there at Florida where they should have one of Spurrier? Like if you're going to have one of
Steve
Tebow,
Spurrier Field, right? Like it's
Spurrier Field, Florida. Well, it's Florida Field. Spurrier's thrown in there somewhere. You can't have Spurrier Field at Florida Field, so I'd have to double check and see. But I know his name's there somewhere.
Yeah, he won a Heisman being a quarterback there for him. He won a national championship coaching there for him. I know he's up on the Ring of Honor, but I don't know how. I don't know.
All right, stay with halftime. We'll be back in just a moment. Wrap up our first hour, and maybe the phones will work.
You trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
This is halftime.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel, 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts need, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Hey, is your roof leaking? Do you have hail or wind damage? Is it just looking old and worn out? If so, you need to call Hoghead Roofing, a family-owned and operated roofing company where the #1 customer is you. They will give you their honest opinion on whether your roof needs replaced or repaired. They have folks that have worked on the insurance side so they can assist with all claims. Licensed, insured, and ready to serve you. Call Hoghead Roofing today at 479-522-0840. God bless.
Have you been to the River Valley's only multi-sport facility? Then let's hang out. The Hangout in Fort Smith is the only sports facility that offers indoor tennis and pickleball, indoor and outdoor basketball, and has now added multiple soccer fields. Soccer leagues are forming soon. Did you know the Hangout also has an 8,000 square foot fitness center with bar, yoga, HIIT, and Pilates classes? The Hangout, 5400 Gary Street, or thehangoutfs.com. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Finally, football season. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is your #1 place to watch Arkansas and Monday Night Football. During Monday Night Football, $5 refillable beer cups for only $2 refills. Prizes for each score and at the end of every single quarter. Can you believe that they've had the same great pizza since 1996? That's nearly 30 years. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. You'll get the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You know I need your love. You got that hold over me. As long as I got your love, you know that I'll never leave. When I wanted you to share my life, I had no doubt in my mind. And it's been you, woman, right down the line.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
So it's very nice. It's, I follow this this account on Twitter called Message Board Geniuses. There's an Ole Miss fan. They got a photo of Jackson Dart out on Halloween. I can't tell which one of these guys is Dart. Is he the guy wearing the orange? Well, he's either wearing the Jim Carrey orange idiot costume from Dumb and Dumber, or he might be dressed as the guy carrying a baby that might look like could be from Look Who's Talking. But somebody's just pissed that Jackson's out on a Thursday, the day before travel day, going out trick-or-treating. It's just like, are you not allowed to? I mean, we can have our value judgments about whether or not he's too old to be trick-or-treating or not, but come on now. That isn't going to have much to do with playing in a football game.
Was it Thursday night? Thursday
last night?
Yeah, well, yeah. That's the kids. That's the last night you get to go out. That's the last. Yeah, I mean curfew. Tonight there's curfew. Bedtime's 10:30.
I was going to ask. Well, 10:30.
Well, I don't know what room check is. I don't know how they do it, but a lot of times, Coach Nutt, you got a 10 o'clock meeting, and it's over by 10:08, and that's you grab your snack and you go to the room, where it's especially when you got an early kickoff. But yeah, the night before the game, there ain't no hanky panky, so to speak. You better
Who did
be
room check.
Just all sorts of, Dow was my roommate. He did room check, but you didn't, I wasn't, I don't know. You never had to worry about my room. We were good.
I worked in the low minors, like in rookie ball. And some of these were 18-year-old kids, 19-year-old kids, some from the Dominican Republic, out in places like Butte, Montana, and Billings, Montana, and Idaho Falls, Idaho. And they had a curfew for these guys. For a 7 o'clock game the next day, your curfew was going to be 11 o'clock at night. And there was a trainer, there was a pitching coach, a hitting coach, and the manager, and they would all trade who was going to do room check duties. And then I always thought to myself, am I supposed to adhere to these? Because I'm supposed to adhere to the dress code. I got to look like everybody else because I was told at that age, you're the same age as these guys. You got to dress like them too. I was not beholden to the bed check, thank goodness, because I was 21 years old that season.
I had
to stay in.
Yeah, that's smart, and to kind of you don't want to mess up when you're an extra person. You're easily replaceable, so you kind of gotta do what you're supposed to do. But David Lee was my quarterback coach for a couple years. Roy Wiki, the other two. There wasn't a single quarterback one time that wasn't there on bed check. You didn't want that problem come Monday, to have that. That wouldn't have been fun.
The thing I never wanted to do was to be the last guy.
The last guy on the bus. Yep.
Do not be the last guy on the bus. That is a sure sign of disrespect towards the players, was the way that I took it. So let's get this post-game show over with. Let's get on the bus, and then we'll figure it out then.
Being on time might be one of the most, respectful things or things you have to do as an athlete or as a player. And you better be on time.
Or as a person.
They'll leave you. They will. There's some coaches out there. Everybody's not going to be a professional athlete, but you're going to be professional in something else. You're still going to have to be on time.
I laughed at the teacher in high school who told me that life 50% was pretty much about showing up on time or at least being there. And then you get into radio and you do sports, and it's like, all right, first pitch is 7 o'clock. You better be there on time when the game is ready to go. It's the same with doing a radio show. I never realized doing radio would make me the incredibly
punctual,
organized, punctual person that I've become over these years. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. Hour number 2 in just a moment, so stay with us.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up. Home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten to your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
It's time for Arkansas Razorback football. Experience fall in Fayetteville as the Hogs return to the Hill in November for marquee SEC matchups against Ole Miss on November 2nd and longtime rival the Texas Longhorns on November 16th. Secure your tickets for the brand new Big Red's rooftop bar and other great seats before it's too late at Arkansas Razor.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly sunny sky. A high will be right around the upper 60s. We will see a chance of an isolated shower or two tonight. Overnight low upper 40s north, mid 50s south. And then a chance of a few showers and storms on Saturday. Highs in the mid 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got to take it here. That's the perspective. Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we're not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
That's even one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
1, 2, 3.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back. A minute after 12 o'clock. It is officially the afternoon, and I guess that makes it the start of the weekend as far as we're concerned here on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. I'm Phil Elson. My partner is Matt Jones. Kristen Johnston producing. Colton Little along later. I'll be talking with Nate Olson, who's writing right now for Best of Arkansas Sports in just about 10, 15 minutes. About the awful tragedy that unfolded in Greenwood early Tuesday morning. He was able to speak with the Archer family, and definitely an important story, if not one of the saddest stories that we'll get into in Halftime all throughout the year. But it also is an anniversary of the 7-overtime victory for Arkansas against Kentucky. Our own Matt Jones starred in that game and had a thing that stands out about that. That was a road game. It was a night game. The game did not end until 1 minute after midnight. And then there's everything you got to do after that, locker room, press conferences, talk with the reporters, get on the bus, fly back. Do you remember what time you guys got back to Fayetteville that night or that morning?
It would have been after 3. It would have been after 3. No, I remember DeCorey Birmingham making plays. I remember George Wilson making plays. Man, it was a total team effort. Tony Bua running around, flying around. There was a Jason Peters made some. I think he had 2 of the 2-point conversion tries that I think he caught 2 of them, and one of them, I don't even know how he caught. I mean, it's just like boom. He had some of the best. I mean, you've heard me talk about Jason Peters, how much of an athlete he was, but he had hands was the other thing. Like he had touch, soft hands.
Who's he with now? Remember he's
Seahawks.
That's right. Signed back with them one more year. I just can't even believe we're talking about somebody that was playing college football all those years ago, and even with the knowledge that he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, continues to get out there and play football. It was, what was it, a couple years before that, you guys had played in the 7 overtime game against Ole Miss.
Yeah, the Eli Manning game, yeah.
That's right. I mean, the pressure of overtime and the pressure of those 2-point conversions, that just has to, you can't think of it when it's happening. Did you feel that when you were playing in a game where it's not just overtime, but you're pushed to the edge of, the amount of time that somebody plays football just in terms of one day, did playing in that Ole Miss game a couple years before that just at least, make it seem that it wasn't so foreign, something that was familiar to you or it wasn't familiar to Kentucky?
Yeah, I mean, we had that 7-over game as a freshman. We had a 6-over OT game as a sophomore. Then you had another 7-overtime game as a junior. So there's a lot of players that played in all 3 of those games. One of the things that we always believed in, and this is something Coach Nutt, that we're not going to be out of shape. When it gets to the fourth quarter, we're not going to cramp up. We're going to be able to go. That was one of the things. We always felt like our conditioning was better than everybody else's. Coach Nutt being a former player, and there's a lot of coaches that are former players, but had a way to relate, had a way to talk, and we had such a good group of guys that we always felt like if we got into overtime, it's our game. And it's kind of a mindset and a belief, but you are concentrating. I mean, that's why when I talked about Aaron Judge just kind of looking away, it's like, man, you're down 3-1. You can't look away. It's same thing in the fourth overtime. It's like, this is what it's all about. What's attention to detail, know your assignment, all those type of things. It's you got to be on point. And man, a lot of players made a lot of big time plays in those games. Those were fun.
It's the feeling of, it's like the word that we used with the Judge error the other night was focus for somebody that had not made a single error all year long. And I'm sure there are a couple plays here and there he didn't get to a ball he should have gotten to, might have overthrown somebody, but nobody advanced. He's really good in the outfield. But it's that one moment where where you allow your focus to drift away that really a good opponent's going to take advantage of that. And that's one of the things about this game that we're talking about, Matt, this 5-hour game against Kentucky. Like, I've done 5-hour sports broadcasts. By the end of that, I can barely think straight. I still don't understand how. And, I mean, you played the most complex position in all of sports as a quarterback. The focus that it takes to play that position for 5 hours, and then the pressure of not just overtime, but 7 of them, and then the 2-point conversions that go in. I mean, there were a couple of 2-point conversions. You don't convert them. You just scored the touchdown. If you don't convert the 2-pointer, you lose. For 5 hours of that kind of focus, I just can't. You had to have a pounding headache the next day.
They'll put you. They'll get you an IV at halftime. They'll get you an IV. The training staff, the medical staff, they got all the good stuff. They take care of you. And one of the coolest things, one of the coolest stats ever, was Arkansas's undefeated after that 7-overtime game as a freshman, after that 6-overtime game as a sophomore, and again as a junior. We won all of our games the next week because that's how Coach Nutt, we knew how to practice. That's the thing Coach said. He goes, hey, you can't let this game linger on next week and cost you another L. You got to be ready to go. So the way you go about practice to make sure you're peaking again on Saturday, Coach Nutt was really good at that.
Makes 3 hours of radio look like absolutely nothing. Let's go to the phones. We've got Charlie here with us, and I guess we'll see if this thing works right now. Charlie? Hi, Charlie. Do you hear me, Charlie? Can you hear Phil? How are you?
I hear Phil.
Yeah.
I hear you well.
Thank goodness. It works.
I'm kind of worried because, like, I had my whole plan. Like, I'm hearing Matt talk about this stuff, and now I'm like, what's going on with the phones, man? What's been going on with the phones, Phil?
Yeah, I know you skipped out on the first hour before you called, Charlie, but we couldn't. Aaron Torres couldn't hear me. Eddie couldn't hear me.
Oh.
You're the first person on the phone to hear me today, so congratulations. You're the man.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm like, Eddie couldn't even hear. Oh, man. Oh, man.
And I mean, in fairness, I've only gotten Eddie to even start listening to me about a year and a half ago.
Phil, I will say this. I have always took your advice, even if I didn't know if it was for real or if it was sarcasm. I have taken it for the most part and, taken it to head and, tried to listen. So I've always for sure done that. Matt, I will say, if they got a stat for this, Phil, I don't even know if we can look this up. I guarantee you all those teams that Matt played for, he may have played in more overtimes than anybody in the history of college football.
I think you make a valid point. That is a decent assertion, Charlie.
Matt, you gotta tell me, man, because I know y'all have a sheet of like red zone play calls, and when you start in overtime, it's at the 25. You can't. There's no. Did y'all just keep going back to? I mean, don't you have like a sheet? Okay, this is our red zone idea this week, or do you eventually just say, you know what, we're just going to call plays at this point by the fourth or fifth overtime? How does that work, Matt? Explain that one to me.
You have about 3 2-point conversion plays on the play sheet. Then you have about 5 3rd-and-1 runs, 5 3rd-and-1 passes. So you kind of put your fourth down play. So then you have 3 2-point conversion plays. So you start looking at your 4th-and-1. Okay, well, what else do we like? Because you don't really think you're going to have more than 3 2-point conversions in a game.
No, there's no way you could think that, as Phil said, you're going to be playing a 5-hour game and you did it 3 times. I mean, listen, that's what made Houston so great. I mean, he was unbelievable, and y'all were extremely physically, mentally tough, and that's why I never understand why people. I mean, people can say what they want about Houston, but he did a heck of a job here. And Matt, let me ask you this: be real with me, though. Would you have liked the rules today? Would you have been cool with that after the second
You
or
do
third
2-point
one?
conversion on the, what is it?
Yeah.
It's the third drive that you do all 2-pointers. That's it.
Yeah, Matt. I know Matt. He may not say it, but yeah, I bet he would prefer that because he don't want to be getting home at 4 a.m. every time they play them darn games.
Carson's at 9.
Absolutely. But y'all, hey, it was y'all were fun to watch. And anyway, but I was gonna say, Phil, since I am the first caller today,
You're actually the fourth. You're just the first one that can hear me.
I have had a traumatic experience today a little bit. So not really traumatic for me. It was really funny for all the girls that I work with who think this is really funny. But, I was trying to explain to them the difference between going under center and in the gun. And I had got to a point when I said, y'all just going to have to Google this because I'm not getting that far in the detail.
Are you doing football 101 with the ladies that you work with, and you're actually trying to show them how to do a snap from a center to a quarterback? Charlie,
I was breaking it down, Phil. I was breaking it down, the whole under center, everything. I even had to go into the few other details that I really don't want to talk about. But I said, y'all going to Google this because I'm not doing this no more. I can't crouch down this far anymore. I'm too old for this. Anyways, I'm excited about tomorrow. I think Arkansas is going to pull this game off. We're going to find a way to win. But y'all have a great weekend. Go
all right,
on.
Charlie. Just if you take my advice as you say you usually do, next time instead of doing the snap under center when you're dealing with when you're teaching football to the ladies that you work with, just do long snapping instead. Like be 7 or 11 feet behind them. Don't be right under. Please, we want you to be able to call in again because I like your phone calls. 21 overtime periods you played in, Matt.
7-6, 7-2, yeah.
I don't think anybody else played in that many.
3-1. I think we had Old Miss and then took an L to Tennessee. Then we beat Kentucky and beat Alabama. So that would have been the 4. Had an overtime game each year, yeah.
I counted 21 of them. I know they're not real quarters because it's not like 15 minutes, but It's the end. It's at the end of a really intense football game, and they're very intense drives. So I feel like I can say pretty easily here. I think you own the record for number of overtime quarters played in. That's Matt Jones. All right, quick break here on halftime. We'll be talking with Nate Olson from Best of Arkansas Sports about the tragic fire that occurred in Greenwood, Arkansas just a couple of days ago, and we want to learn about Isaiah Arrington. We'll talk with Nate right after the break.
This is halftime.
Remember the classic Massey Ferguson tractors, straightforward, dependable, tough as nails, and easy to run? It's those classic models that inspired the Massey Ferguson 2600H series, as durable and reliable as the classics, with up to 74 horsepower and more comfort so you can work harder. The Massey Ferguson 2600H series. It's everything you want and need in a tractor. See one at Bush Machine and Tractor Company or visit bushtractor.com to learn more.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas Sports District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center. 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Hey, Wes.
Billy, P is for horses.
I have an idea to bring in more customers.
What you got?
We yell on the radio, "Woo! Pig Suey!"
We're going to call the hogs?
Yeah, we call them all in. "Woo! Pig Suey! Come get your pizza at Jim's Razorback Pizza."
I'd rather not.
Don't you love the hogs?
Of course. But we can't call our customers hogs.
But they're hog fans, and our name is Jim's Razorback Pizza.
Billy, I love your enthusiasm. Look it, if you think we should do it, then let's do it.
Woo! Pixie!
What about moo instead of woo? We use Wisconsin cheese.
Really? You and them dang cows. Woo! Pixie!
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Well,
I don't know why I came here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair. And I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
A terrible tragedy unfolded in Greenwood just on Tuesday morning, early Tuesday morning. A house fire claimed the lives of 3 people, which also include Isaiah Arrington, running back and student at Greenwood High School. His sister Vivian and his mother Wendy passed away in this awful house fire. We bring on Nate Olson, who's now writing at Best of Arkansas Sports. Did a really great piece on Best of Arkansas Sports about this and about the Greenwood community and the football team overall and how they're doing these days. Nate, appreciate you coming on, and it's not the easiest topic, obviously, to talk about or write about it, but you did a nice job with it. How are you?
Well, I'm good. This is absolutely heartbreaking and gut-wrenching, and one of the more horrible stories that I've had to write about regarding high school sports. I was kind of jogging my memory a little bit about some of the things that have happened, and one of the worst things was several years ago, I looked this up, the Elville Summit kids, Friday after school, were going home, getting ready for a home game, and crashed their truck. And several of the kids, there was 5 of them, they were all thrown from the vehicle. That was horrible. You know, that happened on a game day, and that night the game was canceled and all that. But this is just really, really tough. And I think the entire state, somebody mentioned on Facebook today, anybody in the athletic community anywhere in the state of Arkansas, this has hit them and it bothers them. I've seen posts from coaches all over the state. Reggie Swinton from Little Rock here, that's the coach at Forest City. It says it just bothered him a lot. I think if you work with kids, you're a parent, it's tough to hear this. And this town is such a great football town. And this season, as I mentioned, in a town where football is valued and where great seasons are expected, this has been just a juggernaut of a year, nationally ranked in some rankings. All kinds of players are college recruited and blowing people out, you know, left and right. A heavy favorite to win another championship, and this hits. And now football in a town that is number one, it is really very secondary today.
Your article is very much through the lens of the Archer family, who knew Isaiah and his family very, very well. How close were the Archer boys with Isaiah?
Super close. Cash, who is the 3-star linebacker, a lot of people forget about him. He's a really good football player, college recruited, will sign somewhere Division I. They're in the same class, Isaiah and he. So they were together in youth football, but then here comes Kane, the big-time quarterback, and then he played up with them. So Adam Archer, their dad, said that he was over at their house probably 15 times over the years, staying overnight. He recalled a time when they were around 12, boxing in the living room and getting a little bit rough. And he said he could see how quick and tough he was then at 12, boxing with those guys. And he said this has been hard for him because, when you have, and I can relate to this, when you have kids, then their friends come to your house and then they feel like they're part of your family. And they traveled all over the country to go into camps and things like that. So, Adam almost feels like he lost another son in this because he was over there so much. His ex-wife was really great friends with Wendy. So the families were always together a lot and with football. And so it was crushing for him. He said he cried 10 times, on Wednesday. He said he could not stop. And he said that one of the players' parents said that they went up there a lot of the parents came up to the dressing room, a field house during the day. Kind of football players are kind of coming and going. You could go to school if you wanted. You could stay up there. The school was being very supportive of the students because a lot of this news broke right before school. A lot of kids didn't find out about it till that day, that morning. It happened overnight. But one of the parents told Adam that the Cash just went up to his shoulder and started crying. And he said, if Big Cash is crying, you know something is really wrong. And so I think that shows you right there how close that family was. But, you know, Isaiah was close to all his teammates. I've seen different posts from, you know, Cody Taylor, who's a Division I offensive lineman, other kids, other parents. The smile that this kid had and the passion he had for football and his teammates, I think it really shines for everybody to see since, you know, he was in the second grade, made a big impact on a lot of kids and parents and families.
Nate, do they know how it started, what the cause of it was, and then where do they kind of go from here?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, that has not been released. I have not seen a report on that. That is several people, you know, texted me asking me that, and I don't have a good answer for that. I don't know. That's something that I think everybody wants to know, is waiting to hear, and the details of that. Going from here, as far as the football team or as far as the investigation?
Well, no, just like how can people help as far as with the football team and the community? You know,
Sure.
I know it's a tight-knit. Greenwood's an awesome community.
Oh yeah, it is. There's several fundraising things that have been set up. The school has a scholarship that's already been established in his name, and there's a GoFundMe account that's out there too if you want to contribute. So there's several ways now. There's a T-shirt fundraiser, and I tried to buy a couple of those, and I couldn't get them. They already stopped their phone and online sales. You got to go to the store now in Greenwood. So I've got somebody in Greenwood trying to pick me up a couple of those shirts to help the cause. But yeah, that's kind of where, you know, they've rallied around him, and you knew. I said that in the column. You knew they would. I mean, this town is going to take care of that family. Those families. There's two families involved, and they're going to take care of both of them emotionally and financially, and do everything they can to make sure that they're taken care of moving forward.
Well, I know that there's an account that's been created at Farmers Bank in Greenwood. This is where the Isaiah Arrington Memorial Scholarship Fund is actually headquartered. It's a tax-deductible account. It'll be controlled by the Greenwood Public Schools, and this will be a scholarship awarded to a player from Greenwood who wants to walk on and play college football, because Isaiah wanted to play college football, had a dream to do it. What do you know about Isaiah Arrington as a person, off the field? What was he like?
Well, everybody talks about his smile, and that's both of the Archers, other people. He was a happy kid. He just didn't enjoy being around people. Everything that I've read, and he loved football. So, an infectious person. You in every locker room, and you know Matt will attest to this. If you've been on a team, there are those certain guys that people gravitate toward that are sort of, you know, got that energy. And from everything that I've read and talking with Archers, that's kind of where he was, just an upbeat kid. And Archer said, or Kane Archer said, that even if he didn't feel well, he was ready to practice. And you need guys like that on your team, because there's a lot of days at this time of year where you're banged up, you don't feel good, you're playing a team maybe that you should beat by a lot, and you don't want to go to practice. And then you've got him, you look across the locker room, he's got some ice on his ankle, and he's smiling, and he's ready to go. And so Adam said he was a great kid, and his little sister was a great kid, just kids that you want to be around, that are good citizens, that are well-behaved kids, and that you want good to happen to them. And unfortunately, that their future is not going to happen. And I think that is what is most painful for all these people that know them, because they both had bright futures, the little girl and him. And, you know, he had an offer from Southeast Missouri State. So he had one offer already and probably more coming. And so when a kid is that good of a person, and then they're a good athlete and a teammate on top of that. It's just so painful for everybody.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and talking about Isaiah. You can talk about somebody as what they are as an athlete. I think it's more important about what he was like as a friend and as a teammate. And, I think your article, at least through the eyes of the Archer family, certainly did describe what he was like. It's an awful tragedy. I know that, the Greenwood community, everybody in the Greenwood community, and really the whole area and the River Valley is feeling that. And as you mentioned, too, across the state. So, again, the way that you can donate to the Isaiah Arrington Memorial Scholarship Fund. Again, it's at Farmers Bank in Greenwood. Got a couple of numbers for you. It's actually the same phone number. They got two locations, same phone number, 479-996-4171. That's Farmers Bank in Greenwood. This is your ability to donate to the Isaiah Arrington Memorial Scholarship Fund. Again, this is going to be controlled strictly by Greenwood Public Schools. The scholarship will be awarded to a player from Greenwood who wants to walk on to play college football to memorialize Isaiah Arrington's dreams. Nate, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you coming on and talking about this, and it's a good article, too.
Thanks, Nate.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Nate Olson with us today. And we'll break on halftime. We'll come right back. We'll get back to some of the other stuff here across the landscape of Arkansas sports, so stay with us.
Oh, come on, guys. It's so simple. Maybe you need a refresher course. It's all ball bearings nowadays.
This is halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
This is halftime.
Looking to boost your health and feel your best? Elite Wellness and Aesthetics in Fort Smith is here to help. Starting at only $200 a month, semaglutide and tirzepatide are weight loss shots that can kickstart your journey to a healthier, more confident you. And with Elite's hormone therapy treatments, you can restore balance, energy, and vitality. Take control of your health today with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. 479-242-9355 to schedule your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith, or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Ty Richardson live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental. I'm here with my friend Gail Rainwater. One of the many things you guys offer is tuxedo rental.
Yes, we do a great business of renting for weddings and proms. What sets us apart from most other places that rent clothing, you get to try it on. You come in, we measure, you try it on immediately. And the reason for that is we carry everything in stock. You get to check the fit immediately. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, where it's fun to look good.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Night with the moon shining bright. There's a set going strong, a lot of things going on. The man in the hour has an air of great calm. The dudes haven't been him for so long.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Matt, I shorted you one of your overtime periods. The Arkansas website has an incorrect number of overtimes for that Alabama game in 2003. They got it listed. The box score says 1 overtime, but you go a little deeper into it. There were 2 overtimes.
Double overtime, yeah.
That's right. They got to change that on ArkansasRazorbacks.com because that's what I counted up. I counted up 21, but you're right. It was 22 overtime quarters that you played in.
Little Tony Bua action right there. Tony Bua made a lot of big plays in those. I think he played in all of those, too.
So then he shares the record with you. And I guess
Corey
anybody
Birmingham would be another one that made plays. Yeah. Jeb Huckabee. He might be on there as well.
JT in Hot Springs deserves the credit for letting me know I was incorrect about this because he knows these things. So then I go onto the website and it's like these are the things that I'm usually good at. Go onto the website, you see, wait a minute, you got it as 1 overtime. I thought I got something over JT here. He and I've been going back and forth about this kind of stuff for over 6 years. We're keeping score. So then I go down to the play-by-play and I realize, you actually got to do your own research when you say you are doing your own research. You just can't trust what's on the box score on the first page. There were 2 possessions for Alabama in that game in overtime.
Competitors compete no matter what you're doing. That's right.
JT's competing with me sometimes, and that's okay. I think that's perfectly okay. 877-377-6963. Let's go to the phones. Ben in Fayetteville is with us here. What's up, Ben? How are you?
Phil, Matt, great talking to you guys. Thanks. Good show, and looking forward to tomorrow. Question for you. I ran this question by Ruskin and Zach, and I know they're not as, let's say, intelligent as you guys are, but we could talk about that some other time. My question is, with success comes some problems. And I think if the Hogs win another game, 2 games, win a bowl game, when or who comes after Bobby as a potential head coach? Does Oklahoma? Does Auburn make a move? Does Vandy? Because we know Vandy's coach is going to be leaving. I mean, we saw that whenever the coach left Vandy and went to Penn State. Now they're like number 3 in the country. But with success, I think Bobby could really have his name floated around as a head coach somewhere. And then where does that put the program as far as making that decision? I mean, that's a good position to be in where your offensive coordinator is being searched or sought out for a head coaching position. But I think it's a legitimate thing to think about. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
I think that you're spot on, but you're on the wrong side of the ball. I'd be worried. Bobby's not going anywhere. I'd be worried about the defensive coordinator going somewhere. We win a couple more games. That's your next head coach. I think Bobby's in the right spot, man. I think he likes being an OC. I don't think, but I just don't see that happening. Going to get him, but I can see him being an OC. I'm not saying somebody might not try to suit him or go get him, but I would be worried about the other side of the ball.
Yeah, I think there's a couple aspects about this. One of them is he's got the track record of a head coach, and there is the track record of successes at certain places, but there's also the track record that things fell apart at those places.
And he doesn't stay anywhere very long, though. You know,
And then there's the other aspect is what you had just hit on too. Maybe he likes this job specifically. You know, Arkansas Razorback offensive coordinator, just OC. You don't have to do the press conferences. You're not doing the coach's show. You know,
still making seven figures. Yeah, going to get your quarterback. A lot more teaching, a lot more one-on-one, a lot more classroom stuff. You know,
a lot more coaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It's like these guys get into coaching to coach. Yeah, you do it so you want to make a lot of money.
You're the head coach. What did Mark Stoops say? You know, the head coach has a whole lot of different responsibilities than the OC.
But I think you're right, though. I think they'd come after Travis Williams. Not to say that somebody might not kick the tires on Bobby and see if he wants to give it another try. I just think there'll probably be more suitors for Travis Williams. And if it's the right place, you're not going to be able to keep him. That's how it is. Now, if there's other places that are offering him a job as a defensive coordinator, you to do everything you can to keep him here. You just can't keep him if he's going to be a head coach somewhere else. Who's next? Rod's on I-40 here on Halftime. Rod, how you doing, and how are the roads today?
Not too bad for a Friday. You know, I had a question for Matthew, but first, you know, Derek and, you know, Ruskin and Zach, they're plenty intelligent. They just have trouble expressing themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're just very nervous. Right. They don't like to be themselves very much.
If only they could relax a little bit.
Yes, they want to be somebody else. DQ's there to babysit, so they're all right. You know, Ole Miss looks pretty good, Matthew. But I got a question. The coach Lane, is he for real or is he forgotten?
Ooh, man,
that's a good question because you said Ole Miss is Fugazi. What about the coach?
That's I here's the thing with Lane Kiffin: like him, don't like him, whatever. Follow his career the last 25 years. I think he's a top 4 coach in the SEC. I think he's real.
Well, at least they didn't fire him at the airport, Matthew.
Hey,
could be worse.
There's I like our coach. I don't think Lane Kiffin's going to be the Arkansas coach anytime. So I like Sam Pittman.
He had a chance one time and he turned us down, didn't he?
His offense. He's really good at making halftime adjustments. He's really good at exploiting the defense and getting explosive plays. He's making Jackson Dart look like somebody who can play on Sundays. Jackson Dart has no business playing on Sundays.
He did the same thing for Matt Corral, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't hate. You know, I mean, you hate the game, but not the player, right?
Rod, thanks for calling. Always good to hear from Rod out there on the highways. 877-377-6963 to get with us here on Halftime. Yeah, I mean, I think Kiffin's a really good coach. It's just he hasn't had one of those seasons where you feel like you elevate him past, put him at the upper echelon of this league. You know, and you got to have a national championship in order for that to happen. And really, like this is the year. You realize how many of these Ole Miss players came back from last year?
You see their schedule.
Because they thought they'd be a national champion or at least play for one.
Well, that's why Chris Paul, I'm sure that's why he went over there. But yeah, that Kentucky game at home slipped up on them, and then LSU, they left 20 points in the first quarter. So yeah, I mean, Ole Miss, honestly, Ole Miss is just as good as any team we've played this year. I mean, they really are. We're going to have to show up and play a clean game. We got to win the turnover battle. I think Jackson Dart will give it to you. You can strip sack him, fumble, whatever. He'll throw a pick six if you can get to him. But that's what it's going to come down to because Ole Miss, honestly, they're just as good as anybody we played this year.
But I wonder what the pressure feels like for them coming into this month because it's been all the talk has been about this is potentially the best Ole Miss team since their national title in the 60s, I think it was. This is the year. Look who we got. Look who we brought in from all these other programs, all the money. Come to the SIP, come to the SIP, come to the SIP. This is the year they're supposed to actually compete for a national championship. If it does not happen this year, well, it's going to be really difficult to say next year's the year. A lot of these players are out of eligibility. They'll be gone, and it won't be the same sort of talent. I think they recruit just fine, and they also have the kind of, NIL situation where they can bring in some of these players, but this is the year for them, and they already have 2 losses. They have to run the table for the rest of the month in order to get to where everybody was saying, you can get there. One more loss, and they're not part of it. And then, man, I mean, if you're going to go from a program that's talking about playoff 12, national championship, and all this stuff, and they've never been there before, and then it doesn't happen in the last month, you could see a rope get dropped pretty quickly.
I don't know if Junkins is a bad locker room guy or not, but I thought that was a huge loss for them, because that's one of the things that kind of helped their physicality and helped them run the football. But because that's kind of the knock that they're so finesse. And so I don't know if they didn't remedy that. I don't know how good their running back is. I know the backup might be a little banged up, but I think that losing Junkins kind of hurt them a little bit.
Let's take a phone call from Susan, who's called us from Fort Smith. Susan, you're on halftime. Appreciate the call. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Matthew, you probably know me. My husband was the late Bill DuBois that taught at Northside and at Ramsey for so many years.
Yes, ma'am.
And you guys, you football players, in any of the athletics, something happens to one of you guys, it vibrates out from there. And even my daughter teaches at Hackett, and even those kids are, just in sorrow and such. And having been a former teacher's wife, I remember several times Southside lost students in car accidents or such. And it goes straight to your heart, whether it was a student you knew or not. And even me now, I have such a rock sitting in my stomach because of what happened down there. It was just horrendous. And also the father is still fighting for his life, and don't know how that's going to turn out. So prayers are needed, and there's a GoFundMe also for the funeral expenses. So just to give people other ways of helping. And so, but
Susan, I appreciate you calling and just bringing up, the topic that we talked about with Nate. Obviously, I can hear in your voice that, Greenwood is a small community. It's a strong community, but the way that you sound right now, I think reflects everybody in Greenwood.
Yeah, they love their football. You might as well turn out the lights in downtown Greenwood because the football stadium is lit up and everybody's there. So. But, like I said, I didn't know the young man, but it just vibrates out to us. And, teachers, they take such an interest in the kids. And when it happens to the kid, it happens to the teachers too. So I think of his teachers that he had and let them know that we're thinking of them too. So,
Susan, thank you so much for calling, and we'll be thinking about you. It's not the easiest thing to talk about. Thank you so much. You think about what, not football teams in smaller communities, just what kids mean in community. It's everywhere too, but there's an aspect of pride that we all have in our communities and the people that live within it, but you always look to the future. And the reason that you're doing that is you're looking at your kids, you're looking at the children in the community, and if anybody dies in a house fire, it's a tragedy. When it happens to kids who grew up in that community, that's why she's saying it ripples through the entire community. And it's like all these football players on Greenwood, they didn't just know Isaiah as a teammate. They grew up with him. There is a difference between these things. So like you talk about being brothers on a football field, brothers on a baseball field and basketball field, and that's true. When you are part of a team together, you are brothers. But it's like this basketball team at Arkansas. They've been brought together for this year. They didn't know each other very well, if at all, before this year. These are kids that grew up together. I think that is the true meaning of, not being blood related, but certainly being brothers throughout childhood. And then when you grow up on a football field, it's just heartbreaking to hear about this. But I did want to talk about it with Nate because I know many people in our listening audience are just crestfallen about what happened to this family, and we join you in your sadness. Stay with us. We'll be back and wrap up the second hour of halftime right after this.
This is halftime.
TGI Fridays on Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith has an incredible lineup for their meal deals. This includes crispy chicken fingers for only $9.99, served with seasoned fries and coleslaw. Whiskey glazed chicken slammers, $10.99. Buffalo chicken slammers, $10.99. Grilled salmon for $15.99. And Friday's big ribs for $14.99, all served with a side and fountain drink. Don't miss out on their happy hour. Karaoke on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and 50-cent wings on Monday. TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-49...
On ESPN Arkansas, download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Basketball fans, it's that time of year again. The NBA is back. From opening tip-off to buzzer beaters, BetOnline has you covered with the best odds, biggest promotions, and live in-game betting on all of your favorite teams. This season, every game matters. BetOnline has every stat, matchup, breakdown, and live odds to bet on during the games. And it's not just the NBA. BetOnline has odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, to even political props. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in DeQueen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
On ESPN.
good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Beautiful lady, lovely lady, real fine lady. Hear me calling out to you, 'cause that's all that I can do. Your eyes tell me to pursue, but you say look, yeah, but don't touch, baby.
Welcome back into halftime live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
877-377-6963 if you want to get with us on halftime today. Coming really close to the golden hour, which of course is the last hour of the week. Another day of football on television, 31 of 55 straight days on TV. Georgia State at UConn, USF at FAU. San Diego State and Boise State. Maybe get your eyes on that one today. Get a chance to watch Ashton Jeanty. Continues to lead the nation with 1,376 rushing yards, but he was held to a season low 128 last week and 3.9 yards per carry by UNLV. It's the kind of guy that if he's going to win the Heisman, he's probably going to need to, get that, get upwards of 200 yards per game, maybe even for the remainder of the year. Though I still can't think of maybe Travis Hunter. Yeah, Hunter potentially still gets some votes here. But that is your 31st of 55 straight days with football on television. And there was a massive upset last night in the state of Arkansas in Division II. I've never heard of this, actually. I've been before. Had an 0-8 team beat an 8-0 team. In Arkadelphia, Southern Nazarene defeated Ouachita Baptist 18-17. Just a couple weeks ago, Ouachita had beaten what then was the number one team in Division II, Harding, and now they go at home and lose to an 0-8 team. That's about as upsetty as upsets get. Yeah.
They must have been believing their press clippings. That's what happens.
There are press clippings in Division II.
That's what I mean. There's no way they can't let that happen at home unless you're not focused.
They'll have their playoffs start later on this month. There's just another couple of weeks left in Division II. Got your battle. I wonder if Ouachita was looking ahead of the Battle of the Ravine, because I think that would be next weekend. They usually would play that game. So maybe we can hope Ole Miss is looking ahead to the next game too. Looking ahead to Georgia. Though this wouldn't be anywhere near 0-8 beating 8-0. But you're still a home dog. Once again, you're still a home. You're going to be a home dog, probably in the last game that Arkansas, or the last SEC game that we're playing. What I see the lines at now, the line has been turned off on my app. They might have changed the line. When I looked at it earlier, it was 7 points, and now I don't see one on it. Things do change a little bit on an hour-by-hour basis. We got a lot of other really good games to get to throughout our last hour. It's not just in the Big Ten, where, of course, it's Penn State and Ohio State. There's a couple of games in the ACC that are certainly worth looking at. There's a couple of games in the Big 12 that are worth looking at, too. And the rest of the SEC, in which I think Arkansas Ole Miss may actually be the best game of the weekend. Would you put that ahead of Georgia and Florida? I think so. We go into our last hour. Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen will join us in about 20 minutes. Get over to Joe's Grilling Cantina tomorrow for Arkansas football all day long. Endless enchiladas and $15 pitchers of beer, margaritas, and sangrias. During the game, half-price apps and half-price taps, plus pitcher specials and $2 Busch Light drafts. Joe's Grilling Cantina, 74th Street, Fort Smith. right across from Harps, joesfortsmith.com. It's the golden hour of halftime, and it comes right after this.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel Crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel Crickhopper.
For too long, our rural communities have been left behind. It shouldn't matter where you live, everyone needs access to the justice system. I'm Justice Rhonda Wood, and I'm running for Chief Justice of the Arkansas Supreme Court. I understand the challenges that our rural communities face, and I've worked to create solutions for courts across the state. I will make improving our justice system in rural communities a priority as your next Chief Justice. I'm Rhonda Wood, and I'm asking for your vote on November 5th, because Arkansas is stronger when our communities are stronger.
Paid for by Wood for Justice.
At AOG, our main goal is to deliver reliable energy to your home safely. And keeping our team members, customers, and community safe starts with awareness. Natural gas has a distinctive, strong odor, often compared to rotten eggs or sulfur. If you smell gas, leave your home immediately. Go to a safe location and call 911 in addition to AOG. Remember, if you smell gas, act fast and always call 811 before you dig. To learn more about natural gas safety, visit AOGC.com. AOG, energy for life.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics. Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With the never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly sunny sky. A high will be right around the upper 60s. We will see a chance of an isolated shower or two tonight. Overnight low upper 40s north, mid 50s south. And then a chance of a few showers and storms on Saturday. Highs in the mid 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be a smart aleck like that.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate if we're not doing it?
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
That's even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back into our third and final hour of a Friday. The golden hour is here. It's halftime on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Colton Little in the producer's chair. Neil Atkinson bets Sarah's in about 15 minutes. And a very happy November to everybody that is listening now, and to you too, Matt. It said October is my favorite month of sports. Baseball playoffs would be one of the big reasons why. What does November mean in sports? You get the baseball awards. Now you're past the halfway point of the NFL season. The season's already started to take shape. Got your trading deadline coming up, and the playoff picture's starting to come into shape. Playoff picture is going to come into shape for college football pretty shortly by Tuesday. NBA, full swing. NHL, full swing. And a boxing match later on this month. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. Maybe that's what it means to me this month.
Man, that's going to be interesting, this Mike Tyson, Jake Paul thing. I'm a little intrigued about it. Is it a gimmick? Is it for show? You know, are they wearing headgear? What are the actual parameters of their boxing matches? I mean, it's a young man's game, and Tyson's over 50. You know, can he? You know, a couple minutes in the first couple. You think he's just trying to hero ball or what? I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be interesting.
The wild thing is, like, he and Paul are friends. Like, they're apparently pretty good friends. You know, and Tyson's talking the requisite crap that he would usually talk about anybody at this point, and you know, he's telling the young guy is going to teach him a lesson and put him to sleep and all that kind of stuff. But he's 57. I was listening to an article. The writer had spent quite a bit of time with Tyson, and you remember why this fight was delayed first to begin with? Because he had an ulcer. He had a reaction to an ulcer. He's got sciatica. I mean, he's got some of these things that, you know, that we deal with when we're in our 50s or a little older than that. And I keep thinking, it's like, so we're worried about ulcers and sciatica while Jake Paul is wearing a fat suit to make fun of some of the stuff that Tyson's saying about him. So, but hey, he'd be the only 57-year-old I'd throw out there.
Man, I'm not getting in the ring with him. I don't know how much money it would take for you to get in the ring with him, but I'm not doing it.
I would get in the ring with him and dance. That's about it. We can be dance partners. You want to do-si-do with Mike Tyson? I'm all for it. It kind of reminded me of, it's funny how these things happen. Like a young Larry Holmes, was Holmes the last fighter that Ali fought, that Muhammad Ali fought? And it was embarrassing because we think of Ali as, you know, float like the butterfly, sting like a bee, and he just didn't have that in him at that moment. And then Holmes, I remember watching Mike Tyson fight him, and it was the same thing. It's like, this isn't fun to watch, but this was somebody that were still in their 30s. You know, Tyson was what, 20 when he first won a world championship?
Yeah, 19 maybe, I think, but 20.
So he might be fighting guys that are in their, you know, late 20s, mid to late 30s, and that feels odd. We're talking about an over 35-year age difference between these two. One of them, by the way, who's a legitimate, you know, legend, and the other in Paul is like, I guess he's good. I mean, I've only watched some of the highlights. I know he's lost a fight. I think he's 9-1, but spectacle is the word. Spectacle is the word for this, because I read about that. There is apparently a seating arrangement, a ringside suite that will go for $2 million. So, I mean, that's about as spectacle-y as it gets. I think that this will define the word spectacle.
Is it 2-minute rounds? I saw at one point where they, instead of 3-minute rounds, they were going to do 2-minute rounds, which that's advantage Tyson, I think, if you shave off that last minute each round.
I don't know all the rules around this, but I don't think it's yeah, here you go. It is sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations on Netflix. 8 2-minute rounds.
2 minutes, yeah.
Boxers are wearing 14-ounce gloves, so that's heavier than the usual gloves that they'd wear. So
yeah, you want the lighter gloves. If you're the boxer, the lighter gloves, it knocks you out faster. The heavier gloves, it allows you to absorb the blow. It's like having what is it called? The Guardian on the hat that they put. Yeah.
So this is on the 15th. we got to double check and see if they're Arkansas basketball games, because I kind of fell out of being a boxing fan a long time ago, but I used to be into this.
You can do 8 2-minute rounds. That's going to take 30 minutes of your day if you think it goes the distance. Yeah.
All I'm wondering is if if I got a basketball game that I got to call and I can't pay attention to something else at that moment too. No, there's no men's basketball game. They got Troy 2 days before. Yep, it'll be just fine. It's a Friday. I guess I'll be with the women's team in Los Angeles. So get a chance to watch it with that staff. I'm all for it. I mean, I'm one of those people that was like 9 or 10 years old when Tyson won his first title, and to me, he was scarier than any monster I could have dreamed up under my bed at that age. So it's just a very odd thing to see, and I wish it would have happened in the summertime, because that's when there really wasn't a lot going on in the world of sports. All right, I found it interesting. This is maybe eye-opening numbers when it comes to Arkansas versus Ole Miss with Pittman versus Kiffin, because they've coached against each other 4 times as the head coach of these respective teams. Run the freaking ball, right? Last year, Ole Miss ran for 196 yards in their win, and that's the fewest yardage that they've run for with Kiffin as the head coach against Arkansas. 335 the year before. Remember, the Razorbacks ran for, 463 the year before. They average against Arkansas 306 rushing yards in the 4 games of Arkansas versus Ole Miss. Hogs aren't doing that much worse. They were held to net 39 yards last year because of all the sacks. But they still averaged 218 rushing yards against Ole Miss in the last 4 years. I mean, think about this. These teams are averaging between the two of them over 520 yards rushing just in a game. So you're going to see some back and forth tomorrow.
That 218 number that you just said, I do think that we're going to have to 100%. We're going to have to rush for over 200 yards. Like if that's the number when you're thinking. But yes, we're in this year's team. So I know you're saying the last 4 years. This year's Ole Miss team, they don't give up a lot of 200 rushing games. So that's hopefully their big nose tackle. If he's not in, maybe that is a little advantage Arkansas.
That was the whole point of bringing up Nolan earlier, is if they don't have the guy that eats up 2 or 3 blocks, then their rushing defense isn't going to be quite as good.
Well, yes, because how does Chris Paul make those tackles? Because you're not allowed to get up to the second line to get a hand on him. He's so quick, and that was one of the things when I was talking to you about Chris Paul, or when we're talking his instincts, the way he sees it, man. He's a pretty good ball player.
The 2021 season, where Ole Miss just couldn't stop anybody from scoring or from running, teams averaged over 190 rushing yards against them. It's now 2024. They've got that average down to 76. That's 190 down to 76.
We know where the money went.
No kidding. No kidding. So, but I do figure it'll be a little more difficult to establish the run in this one, because they do look like a much better defensive team. And the thing is, I think Arkansas is a better defensive team than they showed last year too. But that I remember looking at it, like Arkansas actually won when they allowed 463 rushing yards in a game. I can't even believe I just said those words, but that was 2 years ago. Bowl eligible. That's when Larry came out in 2022. Arkansas puts up 35 of 42 points in the first half, ran all over the place, 335 yards, and then Ole Miss, I don't remember the numbers they had in the second half, but I think they ran for over 250 or 270 yards in the second half alone. And we just kept thinking, yeah, keep running it, man. It's like all that clock keeps going off, and it worked out. But hey, now we've got a game this year where Arkansas had over 650 total yards. 250 more yards than their opponent, but lost. But it's also a program that 2 years ago allowed like almost 1,000 rushing yards in a single game and still won that game. So go figure sometimes with this sport. Go figure. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, the dealership that served the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas going on 70 years, right at the junction of I-40 and I-49 beside the Cracker Barrel. Your family needs the best experience to choose the right RV for your adventures, and they've got everything you need on site at Crabtree RV and online at crabtreerv.com. Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen stops by halftime in just a moment, so stay with us.
Connor, all I'll say is truck yeah.
Don't miss out on hog reaction after every Razorback football game. Brought to you by Bud Light. Also presented by Black Hills Energy.
That's one of the reasons I love Travis Williams. I think he's able to take away what is something this team does well. Well, you know what? Travis Williams is usually, most of the time, he's able to take that away. Then teams got to go to their B plan, their C plan, and then you really see the depth. You see if they're talented enough, because everybody can have a plan A.
Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas Sports District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
Bow season is underway, and Jelco Outdoors has all your archery and hunting equipment to help you bag that big buck. Select new compound bows by Bowtech, Elite, and Hoyt. Save $200 off. Beartech crossbow packages, now only $329.99. Save $200 off select Raven crossbows, clothing, boots, tree stands, saddle equipment, feeders, nut grub, and grunt calls. Jelco has it all for you. Good luck and safe hunting. And remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors.
This is Northside head football coach Felix Curry. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Hi, this is Ricky Smith, head basketball coach for the Northside Lady Bears. I dial 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Football and fall, what a great time of the year. It's also a great time to take advantage of York factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
The people have voted, and Evans Body Shop has been recognized. Voted best in the River Valley this year and 5 years running best of the best independent body shop. We are so grateful for the support of our community. EBS has hundreds of 5-star reviews and countless satisfied customers. We invite you to experience a customer service level that sets our shop apart from the others. Call or come by today to see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center, 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full day cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Just got home from Illinois, lock the front door, oh boy. Take a rest on the porch. Imagination sets in, pretty soon I'm singing. Do, 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 looking out my back door. It's giant doing cartwheels, statue wearing high heels. Look at all the angels dancing on the lawn. Dinosaur controller, listening to Buffalo winds. Do, 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 looking out my back door.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
BetSarazin is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. It is right there on your phone, and if you don't have it, you download it from the App Store for your iPhone. Get it from Google Play for Androids. All the web browsers work. Just type it in, betsarazin.com. Make sure you're inside the state of Arkansas to use BetSarazin. There's always lots going on in sports. We just had the World Series end, though. So, Neil Atkinson, how are you doing today?
I'm doing better than I deserve. Happy Friday, happy Golden Hour, and ready for another big weekend in sports and sports betting. We're right here in the equinox per se. Hated that the World Series ended a little sooner than I would have wanted. I always want them to go 7 games because it's more betting opportunities. But yeah, I hate to see baseball season's over, but hey, we got a lot more ahead of us with college basketball starting next week, and now we're getting into finding out what we're going to look like in the playoffs with college football is going to start lining up, it seems like, and just a great time of year. And finally, looks like we're going to get some football weather, so I can have some hot chili while I'm watching my football on Saturday and Sunday instead of cold chicken salad for how warm it's been this year.
Beans or no beans? And I don't really care. I'll eat it either way it comes. But if I'm making it, it's got beans in it. What about you?
If I'm making it for chili, it's got beans. If I'm making it as a topping or for other things, it doesn't have beans. It just depends on how I'm using it. But generally, it's going to have beans in it. And I'm old-fashioned. I don't like putting the canned beans in there. I like soaking them and putting them in there and doing that. So if I'm going to do chili, my chili's too expensive because I go and get meat and get it grounded and all that stuff. Because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And I get spoiled here at Saracen because they make a homemade chili here, and if I'm going to make it at home, it's got to be at least as good as what they do here. So.
Oh yeah, the Red Oak Steakhouse will make it. You're supposed to use the word mean. If it's a good chili, it can't just be good. It has to be mean. These are words that have to work in tandem. Basketball exhibition tonight. I know you guys had a line on, well, it was just a money line on the exhibition last week. You guys doing that again today, and how'd that go against Kansas?
Well, last week we spotted Arkansas 4.5 points that they didn't need, and I forget how many bets that we took, but we didn't take it. We took very few people lost that bet because no one took Kansas. But we do have the game up this week, Arkansas at TCU. It's a $50 max, and we're just doing a money line on it since it's a charity game, just to have a little fun. This one's a little bit more challenging because there's no TV on it. You're going to have to listen to it on the radio. But we do have a little line on it, just keeping it friendly. But all eyes are on next week, really, and we do have that. Here's a quick little note, though. If you want to bet Arkansas to win the SEC regular season or to win the national championship, we have lines up for them already in the futures. I recommend do not bet them now. Wait until Monday. I'm going to put out some heavily boosted odds starting on Monday for Arkansas to win the national championship and to win the SEC regular season. And we're going to boost those odds significantly higher than what they currently are. So if you're going to bet it, now we are going to limit it to $100 because we're going to boost the odds quite nicely on it. But if you want to bet more than that, you can bet it on the consensus line. But if you want to put a little friendly on it, $100 or less, wait until Monday when we release some special markets for the season leading up to the first game.
Yeah, I got plus 1,200 right now for Arkansas to win the Southeastern Conference. But I would take your advice and wait until Monday because you're the guy that's got the best information as far as that's concerned. So tell me about the line this week with Ole Miss. It's kind of settled around, 6.5 to 7? What do you have it at right now?
Oh, it's been moved up to 7.5. The usually about 24 hours before the game is when the game gets locked in, and if there's going to be any more movement, that's usually when it happens. So, we are pretty much, again, my liability says that I should make that line Arkansas only plus 4.5 or 5.5 based on my liability alone. But like whenever Arkansas is the dog, and the consensus line is higher, I'm going to give my customers the better consensus line, and that's where we're at right now. So, I think it's going to be a tough game. We need to see Arkansas win 2 games in a row this year because we've pretty much gone back and forth, and I kind of have a interesting feeling about this game that it could be closer, but the computer modeling's got it a little bit, has got it in Ole Miss's favor, but that's just a computer and simulations run over and over, and we average them. So my computer simulation has it as a 12-point spread. If you go by our data modeling and things of that nature. So just take that for what it's worth. And if 55% of the simulations say the game will go under. So, that means we've got a pretty good over and underline on it. But as you know, anything can happen on the field.
I think about the conversations that we have surrounding, all of these football games week by week. We look at histories of these programs and what happened to them last year. And, this is the 5th year now that it's Pittman versus Lane Kiffin. And, Ole Miss hasn't won a game in Fayetteville since 2008. I know they won in Little Rock. I think it was 2019. But when you're talking about the computer models, like they never take any of that sort of history into account, right? It's just about this year's team and the information that these computer models have on this year's team only.
You're right. And it also looks at the matchup. The individual matchups, the modeling has gotten sophisticated where it does take that into effect. One of the funny things that I say in the casino business, because I run table games, when people play roulette, hey, it's been red, 8 times in a row, it's going to be red again, or it's going to be black. I tell people that the roulette ball has no memory. Well, sports betting really has no memory on the previous year as far as the numbers and the statistics go. So when we put out a line, we look at the individual matchups down to the position level, and that all factors into our modeling. So just because they're on a 10-game win streak means nothing to what we do on our analytics. And we're pretty good at it. It's amazing, especially like in the NFL, because we have official data and all of the data points that are surrounded that, how close we typically get week to week, especially on the over and unders on the NFL. And, we're remarkably pretty close on the lines most of the time too, within a few points, better than I could do with just looking at trends and what they did last year and what they did the last week. It's just interesting on how the math model locks in.
When we talk about, let me phrase this differently than what I thought I was going to. What do you give a team that's playing at home? What is the going rate on, they're playing at home, so they get this amount of points. And I was going to bring that up, the idea of, we still have these neutral site games in the SEC, the Red River rivalry, the cocktail party is this weekend. You got Georgia favored minus 15.5. But if that game were to be played in Athens instead of Jacksonville, would Georgia be favored by 18.5 or 19?
The general, and this is a very, very general rule across the board. Typically, home field is worth about 3 points in football. You kind of weight that. Now, again, home field advantage at maybe, I don't want to make any fans mad. Well, traditionally, home field advantage for Vanderbilt has not been worth a lot. But home field in like Neyland Stadium, Arkansas Razorbacks, when it's rocking and rolling and laughing, in Alabama and LSU is a thing, just because of the size of the stadiums and the history of the fan base and even the acoustics of the stadium can play into that just a little bit, because even Kansas City, a home game at Kansas City, I've seen some of the models weight that an extra 4 points as long as nothing else is factored, because that stadium can get very, very loud, especially on a playoff game. So, these models are not set in stone. They are constantly being tweaked and refined and on the individual matchups. But generally speaking, being at home on a college football game, it's about 3 points unless there's, a stadium specific. Like here's another one, Vanderbilt in basketball. That home field, because of the teams are at each end of the court instead of on the sidelines, and the opposing team, is not used to that setup as much. If you don't play in there all the time, so Vanderbilt actually gets an extra couple of points when they are playing very well for that particular reason when they're playing at home.
It is a very weird place to play basketball. That's for sure.
It really is. That elevated floor is just something. If you've never been to a game there, it's interesting to see. It has a different feel to it. But hey, Vanderbilt takes advantage of it pretty well most of the times.
Are there other arenas in basketball where you take that into account? You think of the home court advantage being tougher than at other places because, think of Kansas, think of Bud Walton Arena. Think of think of the Dean Dome sometimes, Cameron.
Oh, Bud Walton Arena does get extra points for Arkansas. If they're favored in the game, or it does factor in there. I mean, I'm going to use that one as a reference because most of us that are here, if we've been to a college basketball game, it's probably been in Bud Walton Arena on the big stage. And I mean, we all know how that arena is when even if it's just the Hogs are having a mediocre season, that place is lively. And this year, it's just going to be absolutely off the hook when we get into the regular season and playing games there. So, yeah, the different stadiums do have different weights on it, but it's not as much as what you think. It's maybe an extra point, maybe 2 points, depending on the level of competition.
All right, Neil, let's leave it there. Be a lot to get to next week. Certainly want to hit on this Tyson Jake Paul fight in a couple weeks. We'll look forward to doing it again.
Hey, also here's some news I'm finalizing this week. Saracen Casino is going to start subscribing to all of the major UFC fights, all of the big pay-per-view ones that cost you lots of bucks to watch at home to do pay-per-view. We're going to start putting those in the sports book and the major boxing matches. And, of course, the Tyson Jake Paul will be on at Saracen Casino in our new sports book. And we're hoping by that time we have all of those new TVs up. We're putting another 12 new TVs around the bar. So it's another reason to come and visit Saracen. And we had the topping off ceremony of the hotel last week. So come by and see us and have fun betting with us online, too.
Neil, appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on today. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Neil Atkinson, Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. It is the home stretch of halftime. You can get with us right now, 877-377-6963. More after the break.
You see a possum, try to kill it. It's not a pet.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Ty Richardson, we're at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith. Lindsay, what's going on this month?
We have the new Kawasaki Ridge side-by-sides in stock. Most of them have a full cab with heat and air. They have a 1000cc inline 4-cylinder engine. We also have new Kawasaki Brute Force 450s and 750s in stock. And we are stocked up for dirt bikes and ATVs for the holiday season. Come by and see us or visit WheelerPowersports.com.
Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. You can visit us online too at rivervalleysmiles.com. We'll be hosting the 3rd annual Operation Stand Down on Friday, November 1st. This event offers free extractions and cleanings for any veterans. To schedule an appointment, contact Gina Chandler at gina.chandler@arkansas.gov or your County Veterans Services Office. River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Hey, is your roof leaking? Do you have hail or wind damage? Is it just looking old and worn out? If so, you need to call Hoghead Roofing, a family-owned and operated roofing company where the #1 customer is you. They will give you their honest opinion on whether your roof needs replaced or repaired. They have folks that have worked on the insurance side so they can assist with all claims. Licensed, insured, and ready to serve you. Call Hoghead Roofing today at 479-522-0840. God bless.
Hey, Ty Richardson, I'm with my friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan, I know you're a wizard here at First Financial Mortgage, but you do okay with the sticks as well.
Yeah, I've been playing golf since I was 5. I've been in the golf game for a long time.
Question is, what are you better at, golf or lending?
I have to say that equally both. I've used golf in my career to kind of help propel it as well. I used to prepare hard with golf. I do the same thing in work. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5. FFB1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Golden brown, texture like sun, lays me down. With my mind she runs throughout the night. No need to fight, never a frown with golden brown. Every time, just like the last, on her ship, tied to the mast. Two distant lands, takes both my hands, never a frown with golden brown.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Jerry Jones telling 104.3 today that 105.3 today that it's going rougher than I anticipated. If I could use the other word for crap, I would. No crap. Otherwise, you probably would have done a little bit more in the offseason. Cowboys at Falcons coming up on Sunday. Dallas does not have a win at home, but a 3-1 on the road. So going on the road for this one, maybe they'll pull it off. They're one of 4 NFL teams without a home win. The Bengals haven't won at home yet. 0-4. Giants and Panthers as well. It's like the Giants and the Panthers. I didn't expect much out of those two teams this year. Dallas and Cincinnati are combined 0-7 at home. Doesn't really make any sense to me at all. And when we talk about in college football, you got to win your home games. I assume you got to take the same tack in the NFL, and you can't lose all of them. But the Bengals have lost all of them. Cowboys, Giants, and Panthers have too.
Who plays Sunday?
Oh, let's see. You got the Cowboys at the Falcons. You got, I didn't put I'll pull up my schedule here, and I'll tell you where Cincinnati is, whether they're going to be at home or on the road. They get the Raiders at home, so that ought to be Cincinnati's first home win. Raiders are just awful, and I still expect Cincinnati to have some kind of a turnaround at some point. Because they do get to play Cleveland twice.
And one thing, I guess my 4 years there in Jacksonville, we never had a season where we gave up on the season and traded somebody during the middle. Like the Raiders trade their best player. Like I wonder how that goes over. Because it's an opportunity for somebody to step up and make a play, but the team knows, when you're trading your best player, that you're kind of giving up on the season.
Right. So then, I can't even imagine what that's like for the rest of the year. It's like you see some dropping of the proverbial rope in college football in November. It's only 3 or 4 games to go. You're still halfway through the season, and some of these guys got to be thinking it is just a hopeless thing. Titans, the Titans also don't have a win at home. They're 0-3. They get the Patriots. That's not a matchup anybody needs to be watching. Though Joe Flacco might give Tennessee a little bit more of an opportunity. Broncos and Ravens ought to be a good game. Ravens need to bounce back after laying an egg against Cleveland and famous Jameis. And Denver's been maybe a little better than I thought as well at 5-3. Only 2 teams have a bye this week. Pittsburgh and San Francisco are not playing. That division that the Niners are in, Matt, I can't figure it out. Arizona, San Francisco, and Seattle, all 4-4. And then the Rams are essentially tied with them because they've played just 7 games. They're 3-4. And you have clear division leaders in most of the other divisions except that one.
I think the trade deadline is coming up pretty soon. One of the things is talking about you're looking at the 2-6 Browns, and they have, in my opinion, one of the best defensive ends in the game right now in Myles Garrett, if he's healthy. Look for the Detroit Lions to try to make a move to get a pass rusher.
Okay.
The thing is, you have to give up a lot, but it's okay. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. Maybe what would you give up 2 first-round picks for Myles Garrett?
I would, if I was Detroit. I would.
See, I think I would too. So to me, that's not a lot because I'm giving up 2 first-round picks for one of the best defensive, and that's what we need. And then Hutchinson's coming back. He's going to be back, just probably not this year. And then if you can keep Myles Garrett, I don't know how many years he has left on his contract, then you really got something. Because it's not like Myles has 1 year left. He's in his prime.
And it's not like Cleveland is going anywhere right now.
Oh, man, if I'd be on the phone with my agent, get me to Detroit.
Well, if you're Cleveland, you've got to do everything you can to rebuild your draft stock.
So give me 2 more first-round picks. That's right.
That's exactly right. And if you're a franchise like the Lions, you have to cash in. It's like this is Ole Miss's chance this year, and who knows what it looks like next year for them and everything. But they had some momentum building up towards this season. This is their year. If it doesn't happen this year, it ain't going to happen next year or the year after that. I'm not sure about the Lions situation, but right now it feels the way they're playing, and they've got the biggest point differential in the NFL. What did I looked at this. They have scored 38 points a game over a current 5-game winning streak. Their offense right now is absolutely on fire. But without Aiden Hutchinson, absolutely they need to go get somebody. It's like somebody like Myles Garrett. There's only one player like that, maybe 2, maybe TJ Watt too, and Pittsburgh's not getting rid of him. I saw Mike Tenenbaum kind of propose one of these trades. And I think it was more than just 2 first-round picks. There was a second-round pick thrown in there. Might have been a third-round pick and maybe 1 player thrown in at the same time. Yeah, if you're Detroit, I think you got to do everything you possibly can to get Myles Garrett.
Micah Parsons maybe in Dallas. I don't know if they, Dallas is in the seller's market. I think they're going to take an L at Atlanta this week. They're going to go to 3-5. Atlanta will be 6-3. So it's not like Dallas is doing anything this year.
This is the time of the year where you got to make that decision. It's like the end of July for the baseball teams. All right, are we buyers or are we sellers? And in football, it comes about, what is it, a little more than halfway point. Same with baseball. Ought to be an interesting month. It's been more of the, I mean, I guess these are the ones that get more of the headlines. It's been more of the wide receivers that have been getting dealt. And I see Kansas City just traded for another pass rusher. I can't remember who it was, but I know they're also starting to shore up things a little bit. Let's see who the Chiefs have this week. They get the Bucks and your boy Baker Mayfield. That ought to be an interesting game, too. I like watching Mayfield play. And sooner or later, there's going to be a Kansas City loss, right? Sooner or later, they will lose a game. Get a couple of games at home before they go on the road again to Buffalo. Maybe it'll just be Buffalo on November the 17th, the time that they suffer that first loss. Other games that look interesting: Bears at Cards, 4-3 Bears, 4-4 Cardinals, Dolphins at the Bills. A little more interesting because Tua's back, but Miami is one of those teams that has to, like, they either win this weekend or they're not going to be a playoff team.
It'd be interesting, the Bears, man. They had that game won, and tomfoolery or whatever you want to call it, lollygaggers, whatever, celebrating, counting your chickens before they hatch, just not being aware, like his awareness on the video game, when they say IQ, his awareness attributes, they went down to like negative 7,000. But it'd be interesting to see how they bounce back after taking an L like that. If they come together, how well does that player play? Is he kind of shunned? I'm surprised. If he wasn't as good as a player, that's something that they'll just cut you, and he wouldn't be on the team anymore.
Like Malachi Corley, like the Malachi Corley play. You're about to run the ball into the end zone and drop it at the goal line. I could still never figure anything like that out. There isn't any other thing in the world of sports where you're going to celebrate scoring but do something that actually takes the points away. Like, the ball goes through the hoop. It's pretty easy to see. Nothing happens before that moment. Baseball, yeah, I've never seen anybody stop in front of home plate and celebrate scoring a run. These things don't happen. They don't happen in the other sports too much. It might be, I guess it looks cool to drop the football the moment you get into the end zone, but I actually think it might be cooler I don't know what it feels like, Matt, but you do. It should just be cool enough to get into the end zone with the football. That's got to be a cool feeling in and of itself.
Man, that's the old adage is act like Barry Sanders, act like you've been there before. When you score the touchdown, you hand the ball back to the referee. That way, everything's cool.
Yeah, don't hand it to the other team. Literally on a silver platter for you. Catch of the year last night, Garrett Wilson's jump man catch. I haven't seen another one that rivals it. It's like when you put it up against, I saw a graphic of this. He literally looks like Michael Jordan. He looks like the jump man. The right hand is up. It's a football, not a basketball, but it's pretty much the exact same angle. His feet are in the same space. His legs are spread wide apart exactly the same way. And I mean, it looked like he was Michael Jordan. I mean, it was the absolutely perfect marketing for the Jordan brand to do this. And of course, he's not part of the Jordan
That's
brand.
what Devontae Adams came out and said. Make catches like that, you're going to come over on my side. That's kind of Jaylen Brown too. If you hear about him, I know we're going to a different sport, but his whole thing with he's not a Nike guy, and so he feels like that kind of kept him off the Olympic team because you got to be Nike, and he said he's not going to go to Nike just to be on the Olympic team in LA.
Do we have a Jordan school in this SEC? I think
Florida.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Is Michigan also?
Michigan used to be. I don't know if they still are, but yeah, Michigan used to be a jump man. Georgetown.
Is North Carolina?
St. John's. Well, North Carolina, obviously, right?
I hope they are.
Yeah. Never Duke. Duke can stay Nike, but they can't be jump man.
Or Georgetown.
I think Georgetown's got a. I think they're.
They might. I can't remember who's what.
Cincinnati, but Bobby Huggins, they were Jordan brand.
So we did learn on Sunday the same foot touching is not the same as a foot and a shin or 2 feet touching. Now, so let me get your opinion on this, Matt. You played that position at the highest level. If your right foot touches twice in bounds, should it be a catch?
To me, that's a football move. You know, if your foot touches the ground and you get lifted up off the air somehow and you touch the ground again, so you're making a football play, do you possess the ball through both of those? Then I would say yes.
I don't know how many of us actually thought about this until the George Pickens attempted catch Sunday night or Monday night, and now there's an example of like the difference between, because I think if it would have been Wilson's knee that hit, it would have been out of bounds. But it was just the shin. What is the difference between my knee and my shin? It's like 4 inches, 5 inches, probably a little bit longer on your leg, Matt. That was the difference between it being a catch and not being a catch.
Proportionate. We got daylight savings time Sunday though. I'm big fan of that.
So wait a minute, that's fall back, spring forward. So it's supposed to get an extra hour of sleep, which just means I wake up an hour earlier.
I like it when it gets dark about 5:30, 6 o'clock. I don't need it getting dark at 9:30.
Unfortunately, we still do the show this exact same hours. So, but this is from Saturday into Sunday, right? When we're gonna fall back by an hour, not Sunday into Monday, because I could screw this thing up. I was bragging about showing up on time and everything. This would be like the once or twice a year that I could screw this thing up pretty easily. So just maybe text me, like maybe early Monday morning and remind me where it is I'm supposed to be. Or I guess the phone is going to tell me where it is. I got to be at that moment too. Tell you what I got to do. Got a break. Wrap up halftime right after this.
This is halftime.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front-row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, Tin Layer Dip, Brisket Nachos, and Mexican Pizza. And ask about Joe's Tailgate Packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
The Study Basketball Training has moved to the Hangout in Fort Smith. With basketball training classes from kindergarten through high school, there is a spot for your athlete. Depending on your skill set and training needs, the Study offers 3 class options: fundamentals, advanced, and 94 feet. You can also work on your explosiveness with Vertimax training or perfect your shot on the Dr. Dish machine. The Hangout, 5400 Gary Street, or thestudyhoops.com for more details. Fitness, sports, and now the Study Basketball Training. Let's hang out.
Finally, football season. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is your #1 place to watch Arkansas and Monday Night Football. During Monday Night Football, $5 refillable beer cups for only $2 refills. Prizes for each score and at the end of every single quarter. Can you believe that they've had the same great pizza since 1996? That's nearly 30 years. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. You'll get the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
We came from somewhere back long ago. Santa she trying hard to recreate what had yet to be created. Once in her life, she musters a smile for his nostalgic tale. Never he wanted to say, only to realize it never really was. She
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
I know C45 Colton Little usually gets the last choice of music for the show. So it's well done to go with this one. He's not allowed. Is he allowed to play Yamo Be There at any point? Is that allowed?
Anytime, man. At 45, he's got the vibe down.
You're not telling me that you'd actually, have a little issue with that, just like our friend in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Paul Rudd.
That's right. Man, it's good stuff, though. All right, we got to get our last thoughts on Arkansas and Ole Miss. By this time tomorrow, kickoff, remember, is just right at 11 o'clock. Probably be in the fourth quarter by now. I think it's going to be a tight ball game, really. I don't think there's going to be that much daylight between Arkansas and Ole Miss. Hold on to the ball, create a couple of turnovers. And I think one thing that you've hit on, which is really important with this game, don't give up on the run. It might be difficult to establish it, but there's going to be some plays here and there that I think you can break through, but you can't give up on the run the way that you felt you gave up on it against LSU. That's really kind of what I'm trying to take from this week, from your opinions, Matt, is that this defense might be difficult to score against, but you can't give up on the things that make Arkansas what they are, and that's going to be running the football.
100%. And then on the defensive side of the ball, it's going to come down to fourth downs. I mean, Lane Kiffin's going to go for it at least 3 times on 4th and short, 4th down, wherever we are on the field. Can we get a stop? Because that's just like a turnover. Same thing, 3rd and short. But if you can, I think Jackson Dart will turn the ball over to you if you'll muck it up for him and put a little pressure on him. If you don't, and we don't have any turnovers, we're going to get beat by 20. I mean, that's just how it is. But if we can go out there and play defense and get some stops and muck it up, win 4th down, then we'll have a chance.
This is a chance to turn this month of November into something that I don't think a lot of people really thought it could be. You just had, October has generally been a miserable month for Arkansas football over the last 10, 12 years. Miserable. And so when you have a really awful October, that doesn't leave you very much with, to worry about in November. You just went 2-1 in October. I think you're going into this month of November not just worrying about, hey, we got to get a 6th win in a bowl game, but this is the opportunity to beat 3 of your most hated teams that you're going to be playing every single year, by the way. These are the 3 teams that Arkansas is matched up against every year. Will be Ole Miss, Texas, and Mizzou. So we're already used to it. Get used to it more. And if October was my favorite month of the year for sports, Matt, I think November could give it a run. It'll take an Arkansas win over Ole Miss to kind of push it in that direction.
Let's channel our inner Frank Broyles. That's right. They remember in November.
Hope everybody has a great weekend. Matt Jones, Christian Johnston, Colton Little, of course, top of my list. If you missed anything today on halftime, our conversation with Nate Olson with, we were about to have Aaron Torres on, but our phones weren't working at that time, so we didn't talk with AT or Neil Atkinson. It's on the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast coming out very shortly. Ruskin and Zach coming up in a moment, and we'll be back with you on Monday for another award-winning edition of Halftime. For Matt Jones, Colton, Christian, I'm Phil. Thanks for listening. Now get up, get out, and get better.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best?